is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing. And the President and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases.
Allow Floridians to be able to vote themselves relief from property tax. And as I said, my vision is, if you own your home, to truly own it, you have to own it free and clear of the government.
It's shameful that this has been called a hoax. Hopefully today we can clear that up. This is not a hoax. This is real. There are real survivors. There are real victims to this criminal enterprise.
It's America who deserve so much better than your leadership. That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of that agency.
The biggest problem in our culture is to deny that there is a demonic realm, pretend like there isn't.
So what are the hallmarks of it then?
Well, I think some things you mentioned, we see manifestations of it in ways that defy natural explanations. God created us so we could have a relationship with him. So he taught us how we can live in a way that maximizes who we are. And when we stray from that in egregious ways, as many people have and do, there are implications for us.
There we are. Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. It's Friday, which means we're going to bring you this week's headline news. And oh my gosh, is it so much? There is so much news. I'm not even allowed to give an intro. I'm not even allowed to say anything. I'm just going to have to toss. No, just kidding. So Trump did a dinner and he dined with all of big tech, including some of your favorites, Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Google, and Bill Gates, where Bill Gates openly talks about how he would like to be joining and is excited that he and President Trump see eye to eye on a lot of things, including
so happy.
Including what was it, the big one? Not gene editing. Was it gene editing?
It was gene editing.
A whole host of things that we're all sitting here going like, now wait. Now I have to tell you guys something. I love you all. And most of you that are watching our show live and not like commenting and stuff on just like Facebook, you know, you're just like not like the average commenter, but you're actually watching live. You all are great. So I'm really speaking to the person that's not going to hear this. However, and I'm look at I moved you like, and it didn't actually center. There were a boatload of comments, and I was actually shocked because I'm like, wait, our viewers aren't like this? So I was very confused. But a boatload of comments when you shared that. And I think you shared a picture and even a clip. And everyone is going, but Trump 5D chess. And I even saw this one comment like,
Shut the plan.
No, this one comment that said, don't you see the smirk on Trump's face? Now, so all I saw was Trump being super chummy. There was no smirk. And then everybody was like, and look at Melania's face. Can you let's take one moment, Leah. What is Melania's face always? So you don't get to say, like,
here's her smile.
Melania's face. Like, you don't get to say, oh, look at Melania's face. Like, Melania's not digging it. Melania wears a
smile
face.
for a picture.
Melania wears a face where she ain't digging nothing. Okay? She's not happy about anything.
If I did my whole show like Melania sits in a Trump dinner, you wouldn't see my mouth move.
So this whole idea of like, look at Melania's face. I'm like, dude, that woman has one of the greatest poker faces. Because her face doesn't change a whole lot. I mean, every once in a while she'll smile at a kid and like do her little Melania wave thing. But like,
because you gotta bite your cheeks.
I don't have to. Mine are just like that.
If you were Melania, it don't matter. The more sunken in, the better. The more sunken in, the better.
I can't make it anymore.
And you have to look smoky eyes.
You don't have smoky eyes.
Because no. But here's the thing:
smoldering.
She actually has regular eyes.
You think so?
I've seen the pictures.
You think she squints on purpose?
Yes, because her early pictures as a regular person that came over.
Oh, maybe she had it like done or something. Because it looks like she cannot open them. Like me, like I can't get them. Like you have very rounded eyes, and I have, even with my exaggerated eyeliner, I have very squinty eyes.
No, she actually has open. She could have had a surgery, but
I think she might have had a surgery to squint them.
Never heard of it.
I don't know. I'm making that up.
But she does squint like all the time.
So the point is, Trump is really excited about partnering with these people. So don't give me the 4D, 5D, 8D, a million D chest.
Right.
Chest.
Like even.
What?
Like look. This one's going more than the other.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to squint like Melania. But this one closes more.
But you just look like some sort of spy, like, hello, I'm going to spy on something. You know,
that's what
it's
she
not.
looks.
No, she does not look like what you're doing. You're not achieving it.
I'm trying.
You are attempting, but you won't achieve it
because she works for hours doing that.
She probably does. She probably does. Okay, so there's that. All right, now, Leah. The podcast listeners, I don't even know why you guys are podcast listeners. I really don't. I have no idea on God's green earth why anyone would just simply listen to this program.
I have seen her smile or laugh a couple times, and I don't know if her eyes open or not.
So Leah is not going to let me get through the rest of this show.
I'm trying. For
no, it. You know, this is one of those times where Michelle comes on. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Raise your hand if you know what I'm about to say.
Poker face.
Resistance Chicks is what?
The best show on the internet.
The greatest show on the internet. You can't get this anywhere else. It doesn't exist anywhere else.
If I was playing poker, I could keep the poker face. But if I'm sitting there with Bill Gates, you're going to see how I feel.
First of all, you wouldn't be able to sit there with Bill Gates. You'd go all Leah.
No, I could do it.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
They told you trucking jobs would be replaced by AI. Then we found out they were just replaced by Indians. Then they told you customer service jobs would be replaced by AI. Then we found out they were just replaced by Indians. Then they told you coding jobs would be replaced by AI. Then we found out that they were just replaced by Indians. Do you get it yet? No jobs are going to be lost to AI. That's just the excuse they will use to replace you with Indians. AI means another Indian.
No, that sounds racist. I had
hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. No, that's Spanish. But seriously, when was the last time you called for help? The email people, but you pay them.
People were like, and I pay them.
You pay them a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. But most
you guys should get more emails for as much money as I pay for the emails.
Many more emails.
And everybody's like, I got another unsubscribe this week. Somebody unsubscribed. I'm thinking to myself, like, first of all, like, why now? I literally hardly ever sent emails. There was a time where it was like 9 months and I didn't send a single email because I couldn't get them working. Once I got them working, it was like there was a 3 or 4 month law.
If you would like to receive emails, you can go to resistancechicks.com, hit the contact info.
No, you click. No. You know what you click?
I don't know.
It says join the resistance. It's super cool little box I created. So fancy.
I don't even know how to join the resistance, and I'm a resistance chick.
Our graphics person.
I do get the emails.
So good. She deserves a raise. She doesn't get paid.
Do you know how much?
But she deserves a raise.
Okay, so we're going to get to an Indian story this week because some social media Trumpers and right-wing accounts were caught getting paid by India to post in like propaganda.
Oh boy.
So that's why the Indian stuff came out this week because Trump tariffed their oil.
Yeah.
And then India is paying influencers. And I didn't know this, but there's like websites.
I'm being offered. I have never been offered.
You're not big enough.
They're only addressing Twitter people.
A lot of the times they are, but I think some YouTubers get it. But on the right and left, these particular organizations that help you find influencers do the right and the left. Okay, so if a country needs some influencers, they'll go and contact them. So like, I don't trust big accounts because I don't really believe that they're posting for themselves at all, especially like the Twitter ones because they're easy. Like you got to put out a video, you have to convince people you really believe that India is not a threat like the CCP. You got to like put your voice behind it, your euphemisms. You got to put your own heart and soul behind it. Like videos are a lot harder to fake.
Yeah.
Than a little tweet. Okay. So that came out this week because I guess we're tariffing oil or something like that. And who cares? But you care because
I want to get to the rest of the top stories. So I want to tell
we
them
will
an overview of what
But
they are.
this is another top story.
Okay.
Speaking of getting paid. Did you know that Owen Troyer, he was getting paid $180,000 a year? He was complaining though because he hadn't gotten a raise since 2020.
Okay, so like full stop.
You're going to full stop.
I am.
200 grand is not enough? Working for InfoWars?
No, but there's a couple of things that... No, first of all, stop with the... Let me do an overview of the stories, and then we're going to get to that, because that's a big story. So overview of the story, we're going to talk about the Epstein victim press conference with Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Just say MTG.
Whatever. Well, no, because then I'm gonna mess that up too somehow. We're going to talk about Florida. Stop it. We're going to talk about Leah.
Mittage. We're just calling her. Hey, what's up, Mittage?
Florida is going to possibly abolish property taxes. Do you know what else they're doing, though?
Up to the vote. They're going to put it on the ballot.
What else they're doing?
They're ending vaccine mandates
for children. And the Surgeon General is all behind it.
Yeah, well, and then Trump. You know, there's these puddles. And like, there's one puddle, like, and there's a mile here and a mile there. And Trump just goes and like dunks both feet in the puddle. It's like it's not a puddle of his face.
It's not a puddle. It's, you
know,
he
what comes and says it's too much. It's too far.
Pile of poop.
He's like, no, that's a little bit much.
Tell me again how it's 4D chess when Florida keeps trying to do stuff like the abortion ban that they did down to 6 weeks, and Trump keeps saying, "Oh, that's too much,
too much."
And they're trying to ban childhood vaccine mandates, and Trump comes in and says, "Oh, that's too much."
Just right after he had dinner with Mr. Polio vaccine killing people in India himself.
All of anyone out there who is still in the 4D chess camp. Wait, what? Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Tucker Carlson had on Lee Strobel. A lot of you guys are very interested in this. I would highly recommend listening to the whole interview, but we're going to play some highlights.
Angels and Demons.
It was good.
So good.
It was really good.
So,
and he had the same thing that happened to Patriot Gallery. That
he got low sodium and then hallucinated and had all kinds of crazy things happen to him.
I know, and he had to have the hospital re-up it the same way that she did.
Just like him. And he's like, yeah, only 25% of the people don't come out okay.
Whoa.
25%.
What do you mean they don't come out okay?
They don't come out okay.
You mean they don't come out at all?
Brain damage, yeah.
Oh, no. Wow. Yeah. Well, praise God.
I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's not something that Dr. Syed said.
But he was he's very anti-hospital, but he was like, you're going.
You go.
You go.
Yes.
Michael Tate. More evidence on the drug usage this time. There's been another Roy's report that has come out.
More whistleblowers. Like, we all knew guy was blowing cocaine. He was missing all these sessions, and his Wes Campbell, his manager, said he didn't know, and like some other people.
Anybody that said they didn't know.
Lying.
Not just lying, they were part of it.
So if you've been a Christian since the 90s and you listen to Christian music, there was a younger guy named Ray Boltz. Looked like Billy Ray Cyrus, but like a D version.
And now it's so true. Let me pull up an older picture. So y'all, do we have? Are we still doing our highlights of stories?
Yes.
Or are you gonna? Okay, so we won't get to that. I'll wait.
So Ray Boltz, he's pledge allegiance to the Lamb.
No, you're not. That's not the right tune, though.
Try it for me. Anyways, several little big hits, and I was forced to listen to him because there were only like 5 Christian artists, including Amy Grant and Amy Grant,
right,
and Michael W. Smith,
and Stephen Curtis Chapman.
He came on later, though.
I know. We're talking about like the very, very
beginning.
We
played that Michael Card.
We're going back to Petra days.
Yes, there was no Christian music.
100%.
And then Amy Grant left us.
She did.
She went mainstream, but we were still allowed to listen to her because she was Amy Grant.
Right,
baby, put my heart in motion.
But see, all I remember is they paved paradise. But that's not even her song.
Horrible song in the world. I hate that song.
But it's not even. She didn't even write it.
I'm so glad when they stop playing that in the stores. That is the worst song. Like, if you guys think, what song do you hate to hear? I would rather hear Melekaliki Maka
is the thing to say
than that song. There's almost no song in the world that to me is worse than the Paid Paradise song.
Really? I can think
it
of
hurts me. No, it physically hurts me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, Ray Boltz, I didn't know this, but 20 years ago, he left his wife with 4 kids.
I'm not smiling because it's a good thing.
And this week, this giant bloated man.
Oh, Leah.
Married another giant bloated, supposedly married another giant bloated.
They did not marry him, but according to whatever.
So Christian Music has some explaining to do.
So Jules says Boltz has been gay for a while. We didn't know.
20 years.
I didn't know.
Well, when we didn't have to listen to it anymore, didn't even care where he went. You know? It's kind of like if all they're serving is sushi.
So Jules says Paid Paradise song is Chris Rice. No. We're talking about the Amy Grant version. She did one that is
Ooh, bop, bop, bop.
But you know the one I do like is or is this the same one? In the year of 14.
That's not the same song. That's a good song. I like that song.
92, when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, had he landed on a different shore.
Or is it India shore?
Okay. You might never have come to knock on my door. Who needs
Stop, it's secular.
rhyme or a reason?
It's a romance song.
Is it really? I guess it is. Oh, that's the heart one. Are made to find.
Baby, baby.
Is that it? Is that the one?
My heart in motion.
That's the one. That's the one. Okay, we're done. They don't come for the singing. They don't come for this because that's not why you guys are here. It's when we do it, it's only enjoyable for us. I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
I apologize. I repent.
Sometimes.
Maybe.
Holy.
Okay, stop. All right, so that's the highlights.
Yeah, well, RFK was grilled yesterday.
And the audio is terrible.
Is
I
it?
hate that. Yes. And not because he's got his little thing, which is hard, but just the audio, they're like screaming into the mics or something. I don't know. It's not very good.
So we do have a mega feud.
Right. So you didn't get back to the Owen Schroyer thing as
That's
a
what
highlight.
we're going to start with on that. Because I don't actually have it up. And I just will tell you that Owen Schroyer is leaving InfoWars. If that's not one of your shows, don't know why you're watching mine, but because that's where you get a resistance chicks. If you are watching this broadcast, you are the resistance.
Yeah.
So we're the resistance chicks. Thank you, Alex. We've been on Alex's show, not with Alex,
with Millie, which was another fallout,
and Leanne.
Yeah.
And we talked about feminism, and that was back in the day when we actually had a YouTube channel. Thank you, Google.
You're so bitter about it.
Nope, just got to keep reminding people.
They all know.
It's not bitter, it's just reminding.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
I'm not bitter, I'm just, little melon.
Little melon?
Bitter melon. There's a thing called bitter melon.
No, I've never even heard of that.
Yep.
Has anyone heard of a bitter melon?
Yeah, because it's on that upstairs.
No.
There's we have a supplement and it has bitter melon in it.
Get out.
Right on the front. Yep.
Jewel, I need to know. She's our homeopathic professional.
All right, so here's the thing. I don't really know what went down. It seems like Owen is taking a slightly higher road, but it has got Alex, his Superman underwear in a wad. His little, superhero tights are in a wad. He's upset about it, and he says it's the worst betrayal in InfoWars history. But if you listen to the Reese report, Greg Reese says Owen's in the right here. There's a lot of confusion there at InfoWars, and I'm going to tell you why. When you go up against these powers that be, they're going to attack you spiritually. If you are not spiritually ready and prayed up, they're going to try to take you down. Now, I believe all this started with the Sandy Hook attacks.
Yeah.
He spent it seemed like years just trying to defend himself. So then he finally gets put back on Twitter, X, by Elon Musk, because that was not going to happen. And Alex now has more of his voice back, but in doing so, he's had to sell a piece of his soul,
pound of flesh. Yeah.
So he has to support Trump, whereas before
Elon,
who've
had their own falling out.
Which if you look at the comments, people are saying, "Listen, Owen is telling the truth about Trump and Elon, and he just can't do it anymore."
Meaning he can't keep sidestepping because he's on InfoWars to try to give that same pound of flesh.
Right. Exactly.
So Jewel says that bitter melon is good for blood sugar. Thank you, Jewel.
Well, there you go.
Maybe is it in your
It's in that bourbonine mix,
bourbon.
but yeah, I don't
It's
really
good for
take
blood
that one.
sugar.
Yeah. All right, so that's one of the first stories we were going to talk about tonight. Let's go to the Indian story because I think that this is kind of funny.
Wait, you just said we were going to lead with Alex.
I did. I just talked about it. You want me to play a video one? I don't have a video up.
Yeah, you can't just you can't do no. You have to give way more detail than that.
Why?
Because you gave me more detail than that.
I don't
you didn't
know
even
much
tell him
more.
was it okay. So Owen, for those of you that don't know, Owen has pretty much been Alex's right-hand man. He's been like the knockoff Alex. I mean, for all intents and purposes, meaning that Alex could take more time off so that Owen would be his and he even started to talk like Alex and do all of his inflections like Alex.
Yeah.
And there's one thing that I cannot stand that Alex does that Owen picked up. And if there's something that they like, they go, I hate it. It's creepy to me. It's
I
so,
just had so
even
many
Owen
stories,
even does
so
that.
I didn't feel like this was due.
Well,
here's
I guess because the reason why I
attention.
wanted to tell you guys this is because this is like Resistance Chicks roots, okay, which would be Alex Jones, InfoWars, the whole 9 yards.
Here,
but I
play
also
this real
wanted to
quick.
make a comparison.
I know you want to make the comparison. I know the comparison you want to make. You can play this little video.
Is this on your tweeter?
Mark, would you like to say a few?
No, Trumpy. And we're going to get to that too. All right.
I just have a ton of stories. So
I know.
A lot of time.
So
on
Leah,
each one.
you just want to do highlights of each one. Is that
Well,
what you're
I only
telling
have
me?
so much time.
Okay.
I got a lot of stories tonight.
I know. It's not like we do a 3-hour show or anything.
No, but I don't even know if we have enough
for
for that. I got a lot.
I'm joking. This is 18 minutes.
No, we're going to play the
Hey,
video.
Owen, what do you have to say to Alex Jones?
Alex Jones is a living legend, and I have nothing but appreciation for everything he did for me. I wish you nothing but the best, Alex. Now watch this drive.
A George Bush quote. Yeah, well, I don't play golf, Owen. I did 30 years ago. I don't have time for that. Amazing. Alex Jones dumps InfoWars host for being too anti-Trump. He publicly quit, but the way he said it all, boom. MAGA Rising Star. Rising Star's show is imploding. Kicked off InfoWars for turning against Trump. Not true. Alex Jones kicks MAGA Rising Star Shore off InfoWars turning against Trump. InfoWars host abruptly kicked off show for turning anti-Trump. The New Republic, the liberals. Alex Jones dumps InfoWars host for being too anti-Trump. InfoWars host abruptly splits after Alex Jones too anti-Trump label. No, I just said on air we shouldn't be so black pill. We should just report the good things, the bad things. That's just my opinion. I'm allowed to say what I want. That's not censorship. Where is the clarification? Because, look, I don't care if CNN lies about me or Paul Weiss Law Firm of the Democratic Party. But when I have been somebody's friend and didn't do anything to them, I take it personal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so from what we can gather, Owen just wants to leave, go do his own thing, and he wanted to have a show under InfoWars and be like, let me do my own thing, but you can still air my show. This made Alex very, very upset. Okay. Owen was like, I wanted to do a final program, right? Am I right about that? I'm getting this information straight from Leah.
I think he said, I'd like to come in.
I'd like to come in
air my show.
and so it seems like Owen was just kind of saying, I'd like to go and do my own thing. I'd like to branch off and be my own and grow my own wings. This is my understanding. Okay. Sprout my own whatever. And Alex got upset about it. Leah and I were saying this. I don't think I would never want to work for Alex Jones. We actually probably could have asked at the time. I don't know that they would have picked us up or anything like that, but I would never have even wanted to, right? And I'm not saying that offer was on the table. It never was, but I'm just saying we probably could have asked, but I just didn't even, I would never want to work for Alex. So I'm actually happy for Owen if he splits off, even though it's heartbreaking, but I wanted to make this kind of comparison.
He did a 5-hour show on why he left InfoWars.
You guys can go and watch it. It's on Owen Schroer on Twitter. It's really hard when two people that you love, and I do like Alex and I do like Owen. I don't love them, but I like them when they split up. And I think that there were some people when, Resistance Chicks and the SK thing happened, they're like, oh, nobody wants to see Resistance Chicks and Bards split up. And it's just I just think it's this is what Conley and Kilted Christian, like all of those people were saying on that one episode, like, oh, I think they just, it's just bad on both sides. Both people are getting things wrong. That's not what this was. So I just wanted to say, like, what's happening with Alex and Owen is normal. They probably are like kind of have some wrongs on both sides and all this, that, and the other, right? But maybe Alex has done some very underhanded things to Owen, and Owen's trying to take the high road about it. But that's, again, not the situation that we found ourselves in when you have, let's say you were working for Alex Jones and you found out that he had been stealing money from his people, like in mass, like not just like a little bit, but like a lot, like all of it, and been lying and had been a complete fraud. Now, there is a thing out there, and I'll end with this. What's the guy's name? Hicks, that everybody thinks that Alex used to be, that he's older than he says, and that he's this, and I've watched it. When I watched the thing, I was totally convinced. And then I was like, no, actually not. That he's this other person, this like comedian or somebody that used to be, whatever. But if you had found out that like he had been lying and been like defrauding everybody about who he was and who he is, that would be a little bit of a different story. And if Owen had to come out and say, listen, I have found out all of these things. I've got a host of dozens and dozens of people who have these really terrible stories about him, and like really, really low life, terrible, stories. That would be a little bit of a different, tale that we would be telling. So that's not what this is. So just, you can pray for them both. I don't have a problem with anybody saying that. Like, just pray for them both. I don't know.
Yeah, they're both like these kind of, they need some sanctification in their lives.
Yes.
And I'm sure Alex was very hard to work for.
I'm sure.
And InfoWars went through a lot.
Bill Hicks, thank you, Jewel.
Of issues. Now, this week, silver smashed through 41.25. This was a very big deal. Super historic highs. If I'm going to tell you to buy silver now, I'm going to always tell you that silver is a good place to put your, to park your finances, silver and gold. You can do that if you would like to go to Lynette Zhang at Zhang Enterprises. Give them a call.
Please, the best place to do it is going to resistancechicks.com/God's money. That way they know that you sent us. So if you click on that we sent you, that way, if you click on that link, then you don't have to tell them, oh, Resistance Chick sent me. If you go straight there, just tell them, hey, Resistance Chick sent me. But otherwise, start at resistancechicks.com/God's money.
Yeah. So what that means is the dollar is getting worse and worse. Just in case you didn't know, if you're just buying small amounts of silver, I do recommend SD Bullion. If you need to move over a portfolio, we recommend Zhang Enterprises.
100%.
So I have to tell you, because that's like literally like record breaking silver highs, like so huge. I remember when we were doing the silver squeeze and it was like $32 an ounce, and now it's like 41. So it's like almost $10 more an ounce. And that was just from a couple years ago. So that's what I got to say. Yeah.
That's what you got?
Yeah. So if you bought, when we were telling you with the silver squeeze, your ounces of silver would be worth about $10 more.
Well, and what's even worse though is, and it is worse, it is a bad thing actually, it's so undervalued right now, it's not even funny. It's being suppressed. So at some point when they talk about silver breaking out, like we're talking about both silver and gold are highly suppressed, inflation adjusted. It's not even funny what it is.
Did you hear, I don't know if this is true, RFK Jr. is trying to link autism to Tylenol use in pregnancy. The stock of Tylenol maker Kenvue is crashing after a Wall Street Journal report, according to which Robert Kennedy Jr. plans to announce that pregnant women's use of Tylenol is potentially linked to autism. It's to suggest a medicine derived from folate can be used to treat symptoms of the developmental order in some people. The report sourced to quote familiar people and expected this month from the Department of Health and Human Services is likely to highlight low levels of folate, an important vitamin, and Tylenol, which has been mass produced since 1955, taken during pregnancy, as well as other potential causes of autism. Kennedy's department also plans to pinpoint a form of folate known as folinic acid, or leucovorin, the people said, as a way to decrease the symptoms of autism. which affected roughly 1 in 31 8-year-olds in 2022. Tylenol, whose active ingredient is acetaminophen, has been used for decades. You know, it's a pain reliever. I need to see some science on this. Like, how?
Do you want to know what Michelle thinks? Of course you do. You want to know what Michelle thinks. We're going to play some good clips from RFK Jr., but I am here to tell you all.
I'm not feeling it on that one.
RFK Jr. knows exactly why we have a rise in autism.
Well, he actually did. He in the hearing, I'm going to play you some clips. He did talk about autism and the MMR. But what's very strange to me is that Tylenol has been around since 1955. And autism spiked right when all of the vaccines were, went from like 12 vaccines to 70 vaccines.
Right.
So,
and he knows this though. This is a like, look over here thing. This is ridiculous. I'm calling baloney.
Did you know that Dearborn Heights in Dearborn, Michigan is now the Muslims are the majority in Dearborn Heights.
Oh no.
The police department in Michigan has introduced a uniform patch that has Arabic writing on it.
No.
I don't have words. I mean, we don't even do we have that with like in towns that are Hispanic, like with Spanish? Dearborn Heights Police Department is believed to be the first in the country to have a patch with a language other than English. Records indicate that the patch was designed by an officer, Murdoch, who claimed it to have created it to reflect and honor the diversity of our community, especially the many residents of Arabic descent who called Dearborn Heights home.
This is really scary. Oh my gosh.
The patch includes the Michigan seal in the center with the words Dearborn Heights Police written in English and Arabic.
This is terrifying. Oh, is that going to click on that? I didn't mean to click on it. Should I play this? No?
I guess.
Well, it's just showing, I guess, the patch maybe?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not feeling it.
Leah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in not a good way. Oh, wow. That is unfortunate.
You can scroll down. This was...
You're back to the article, you mean?
Yeah. July 17th, 2024. Shia Muslims marched down the streets of Dearborn, Michigan. This is Rashida.
I'm just gonna turn this down. What?
Those headdresses for women, I believe, should be illegal. I don't know how you make them illegal. They just have to be illegal.
Okay, but
this has to be illegal.
Do you know that it's very rare that anything on our show renders me without words? I feel like a bug to a flame right now
that has invaded. This is Michigan. This is Michigan. We're one nation under Jesus, under Christ, under God. And if you are not okay with that,
you don't belong here.
You don't belong here. You don't belong here. You don't belong here.
Oh my gosh, Michigan. Pray for Michigan. We're just going to pray. God, I just thank you that you're sending angels, especially to Dearborn, Michigan, to eradicate the demons that are, we're going to see revival in Dearborn, Michigan, in Jesus' name.
Before Muslims moved here, it was a majority Middle Eastern Christian town, mostly populated by Lebanese Christians and Assyrians fleeing persecution. The fact that Muslims chose that specific spot says a lot. Just wanted to persecute Christians.
Whoa.
I'm just flabbergasted.
I don't even know.
I don't know if you're allowed to say what we need to say.
I don't know either.
Well, Brigitte Gabriel says this is how it starts. Dearborn Heights Police Department now has the nation's first ever uniform patch in Arabic. The civilization takeover has begun. That's more than an inch. That is a leap.
Shoot.
Islam requires Muslims to hide all crimes by Muslim brethren. How on earth can Western policing and Islam be together? The Baal demonic cult is in charge. Wonder how the Dearborn Heights non-Muslim police officers feel about this. I wonder how many Muslims are on the Dearborn Heights police force. Sharia law has arrived. It is political ideology cloaked in religion designed to conquer and maintain dominion over conquered lands. This is how Islam conquers, small incremental steps, slowly. Then before you even know it, the most popular baby name is Muhammad and you've been conquered.
Oh, boy.
Everyone has to assimilate to the U.S., not the U.S. to the third world. If you don't want to come here and be a Christian and serve and love and honor our founding fathers, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. And we need Christians to speak out against this. This is not okay. This is an act of war.
It is an act of war. Just stop it. Like, this is what, I'm going to be honest. This is what sets our show apart from other people. Because I will just flat out tell you, they admit that this is what they're trying to do. They admit that they will outbreed Americans 10-1, okay? And that they are literally trying to do a silent takeover. It's
kind of quite loud.
It's working, though. You didn't have me play the call to prayer.
I don't want to hear
video. I don't want to hear it either. That's why I'm not playing it.
All right, RFK Jr., you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies. Kennedy spars with senators during wild testimony. Well, that was actually pretty interesting, as Democrat senators read prepared zingers to try to corner RFK Jr. over vaccines and other malarkey. Kennedy hit back with several very specific haymakers during the 3-hour session, calling the Democrat lawmakers liars and even pointing out that Elizabeth Warren has taken nearly $1 million from pharmaceutical companies. Let's play some of these. At the center of Thursday's hearing was Kennedy's surprise decision last week to fire the CDC director Susan Menarez just a month after she took the job. The move plunged the agency into turmoil, prompting several senior officials to resign, including the Satanist gay guy with the pentagram, and you don't want to see him again. You don't.
You did, which is tell her to just go along with vaccine recommendations, even if she didn't think such recommendations aligned with scientific evidence. That is
no, I did not.
That's a yes or no. So you have an opportunity to call her a liar if you say that you didn't do it. But I'd like to see you respond to this.
No, I did not say that to her. And I never had a private meeting with her. So there are witnesses to every meeting that we have, and all of those witnesses will say, I never said that.
So she's lying today to the American people in the Wall Street Journal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's talk now about what's coming up, because I've made it clear what I've...
That's very bold of him. Like, I'm so proud of him for just admitting, she's lying. I didn't say
Kennedy
that.
also defended his June purge of 17 members of the CDC. Here we got Bernie Sanders.
President Trump, who I don't usually agree with, called COVID vaccines, quote, one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern-day medicine that saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. Scientific community agrees with Trump. Lancet study found that it prevented almost 20 million deaths during their first year of use. Secretary Kennedy, are President Trump and the medical community right?
Why are they all so weird? The guy behind him has a dangling gold earring in his left ear.
No, he doesn't.
Or do you still believe that the COVID vaccine was, quote, the deadliest vaccine ever made?
No, first of all, I didn't say that. I said that in terms of affairs reports a while ago. I said today, I think that President Trump should get the Nobel Prize.
So who's right? Is Trump in the medical community right, or are you right?
President Trump did an extraordinary piece of leadership.
Is he right or wrong? Did COVID save millions of lives?
As I said, he got Americans back to work. At that time, that particular vaccine was perfectly matched to the virus that was circulating then. And I have no idea how many lives it saved, but it saved quite a few.
You know, what I find a little bit weird in this discussion, hearing it over and over again this morning, Mr. Chairman, is we've got the entire medical community on one side. You got the AMA representing hundreds of thousands of doctors, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Public Health Association. All of these organizations are telling us that COVID vaccine and vaccines in general are safe and effective. You are casting doubt on that. Who are who are the organizations that are agreeing with you and casting aspersions on vaccines?
The primary advisors are Marty McCary, Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Oz, Vinay Prasad.
So you got a few doctors who agree with you, and I'm giving you the
Not a few doctors. What you're talking about is there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment, which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical industry.
So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors. And the American Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food
Everybody but you, Senator. But you know what? When you ran for president, we have a corrupt campaign finance system. Maybe you will agree with me on that. Okay, you were already president, you got a billionaire behind it. You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people in it, as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue now...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The issue is every time anyone disagrees with you...
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry was supporting my presidential campaign?
I'm saying,
I don't think so.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the pharmaceutical industry is a greedy institution which is charging us the highest prices in the world. They are pervasive. But to suggest that every institution, the AMA, the pediatrics people, is corrupt because they disagree with you is an insult to the American people.
Listen, people disagree with me all the time. I have arguments in my agency, heated arguments every day with Jay Bhattacharya, with Marty McCary, with Dr. Oz.
You have given the names of a few people. I have given you the names of organizations representing hundreds of thousands of doctors and scientists. I yield, Mr. President.
Senator Tillis.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, here the next one. He calls out Pocahontas.
You are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
And that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise,
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access.
It depends on the states.
A year ago,
but they can still get it. Everybody can get it. Everybody can get it, Senator.
So look, let's move on. You clearly are taking away vaccines. I've seen the list for what's coming up next, and
oh my gosh, they just lie right through their teeth.
Where's the one that said you've taken?
He just said it. He said you've taken $850,000 in donations.
I missed it. Okay, let's go down here. Here's Ron Wyden again.
About anything you've done or plans to change it. And my last comment is, I hope that you will tell the American people how many preventable child deaths are an acceptable sacrifice for enacting an agenda that I think is fundamentally cruel and defies common sense. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do I get a reply? Or, Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never asked the question why it's happening. Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years, we learned that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not because I came in here. It's because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're going to end.
I'm going to let Senator Wyden respond.
Wow, that was good.
All right, this one was funny. Will you commit to sharing the protocols? And he's like, for the autism study with Congress, and RFK is like, they're public.
To sharing the protocols used for the autism study with Congress and to the public?
They're public.
Will you commit to giving it to this committee by the end of the week?
No, not because that's not the way it works.
Will you
don't even know what you're talking about.
Mr. Secretary, will you commit to sharing the protocols for the study by the end of the month?
We already have
You just said it's public.
We put out the notice of funding opportunities, and then the scientists from all over the world.
You're not understanding me. Let me
No, you're not understanding how the world works.
Do you understand what the protocols are? Do you understand what they are?
The scientists who are doing the studies submit the protocol.
Okay, so you know
That's
what
not
they
coming
are.
from us.
So will you commit to sharing those protocols with this committee?
Well, anybody can get a hold of the protocol. It's published with the study.
Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to ask is for your commitment here.
Oh my gosh, I can't with this guy.
Okay.
Like,
so
essentially what he should have said is, that's not my job. Like, you can just get it.
Go get it yourself. You can do that right now.
I support vaccines. I'm a doctor. Vaccines work. Secretary Kennedy, in your confirmation hearings, you promised to uphold the highest standards for vaccines. Since then, I've grown deeply concerned. The public has seen measles outbreaks, leadership in the National Institute of Health questioning the use of mRNA vaccines, the recently confirmed director of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention fired. Americans don't know who to rely on. You know, recent polls said 89% of voters, 81% of Trump voters agree vaccine recommendations should come from trained physicians, scientists, public health experts. So, you know, they believe, you know, Senator Marshall, Senator Cassidy, they believe me when it comes to vaccines. If we're going to make America healthy again, we can't allow public health to be undermined.
Oh my gosh.
So, complicating things, Representative Bill Cassidy, a Republican from Louisiana, said that Trump deserved a Nobel Prize for ramping up the vaccine production, even though Bill Cassidy is the most virulent anti-Trump senator in the Senate. And said that Kennedy's decision to cancel the $500 million in federal grants for a new mRNA vaccine research would be denying people vaccines.
Do you guys see it yet?
You don't have to play that one. It's too long.
I mean, look, we're literally seeing who runs Washington, including who runs Donald Trump.
And
it's big pharma. It's big tech.
So this is what an agenda for restoring the public trust looks like. Senator Kennedy, we're ending gain-of-function research, child mutilation, reducing animal testing, addressing cell phone use in schools, sickle cell anemia, hepatitis C, and the East Palestine chemical spill.
Gain-of-function research, child mutilation, and reducing animal testing. We are addressing cell phone use in schools, excessive screen time for youth, the lack of nutrition education in our medical schools, sickle cell anemia, hepatitis C, the East Palestine chemical spill, and many, many others. At FDA, we are now on track to approve more drugs this year than at any time in history. I'm also proud to say that HHS under President Trump is doing more with less. We have taken measures to fight waste, fraud, and abuse. Just by eliminating duplicative enrollments in CMS, we are saving taxpayers $14 billion a year. Meanwhile, we are expanding access for people who need it. We are ending racist diversity, equity, and inclusion practices and instead focusing on aiding low-income and vulnerable families. regardless of their race, which was the original intent of Title X. We're also pouring $1 billion into Head Start and the Administration for Children and Families. Compassion need not be the casualty of efficiency. I'd like to highlight some issues that have not gotten media attention. First, we are doing our part to fulfill the President's commitment to stop human trafficking, especially of children. We inherited a terrible humanitarian crisis from the previous administration with its open border policies, which allowed the appalling loss of 476,000 unaccompanied children. We have implemented policies now to ensure that that appalling tragedy can never happen again. We have knocked on 82,000 doors and located 22,000 of those children. I promise you that we will do more in the next 3 years. We are also addressing the disastrous health conditions in tribal communities on Native American reservations. I've met face-to-face with tribal leaders in dozens of communities and tribes in Alaska, Arizona, Idaho, New Mexico, and elsewhere. And I look forward to making HHS resources more available to those communities. One of the most significant initiatives under President Trump is the Rural Health Transformation Fund, part of the President's Big Beautiful Bill, which will provide the greatest investment of federal money into rural health care in history.
So if you go back to the article, if you scroll down, here's the CDC walkout. They were all upset over RFK Jr. here.
The so-called experts are fighting the Maha revolution tooth and nail. Just yesterday, CDC staffers staged a walkout at their Atlanta headquarters to protest RFK's deputy, who's rumored to become acting director. They say he's damaged the agency, even though he hasn't even touched the place yet.
Pentagram wearing guy.
This guy is quitting over it.
I'm seeing CDC being transformed into a weapon where people are not allowed to share scientific data, and that scientific data is potentially going to be contaminated more and more with ideology. I could no longer be party to seeing the transformation of my brilliant scientists into something that could potentially hurt children.
He wants Kennedy to stop asking questions, which of course is the heart of the scientific method. But that's not what the CDC's interested in. Apparently, it's all about love.
The people that they're seeing in those images that you're playing right now are the people who do everything with such enthusiasm and so much love. So as people, try to dehumanize public health workers through mis and disinformation, those images are burned in my mind as something that really reminds me just how much CDC should be and could be about love.
And we all know you can't have a love fest without the trans community, which is what the woke doctor ranted about in his resignation letter.
I find it outrageous that this administration is trying to erase transgender people. I very specifically used the term pregnant people and very specifically added my pronouns at the end of my resignation letter to make the point that I am defying this terrible strategy at trying to erase people and not allowing them to express their identities. So I accept the note from the press secretary and counter that with, I don't care.
So if you start out by denying basic biology, why should anyone trust your science? Less than half of Americans trust federal health agencies, and it's not because of Bobby Kennedy or President Trump. It's because these are the people who supported locking kids out of schools for months, creating a generation plagued by mental.
That guy has
the woke doctor.
The woke CDC guy has these pictures of himself with a pentagram tattooed on his chest, standing in a pentagram with a gay guy. He's a BDSM Satanist. So we don't listen to him, and we have a kid-friendly show, so you can go find that somewhere else.
Well, I'm actually glad that it didn't play because it's really disturbing.
It's so
the
raunchy.
Images of this guy. It's so terrible. Leah, let me read a couple of comments before you move on. Kimberly Vinzel wants to know, approving more drugs is not a good thing. I thought she posed it as a question, but same thing. Lori says they are still playing both ends against the middle, and we lose if we continue to play the game. Well said. Jules says Head Start is a massive scam. Sherry says it's all about money. They make too much money off of the drugs, and they put people into poverty for the drugs they become dependent upon. Jules says CDC is already a weapon. It is just not one you can control, but then it is all a charade. Lori says that man is a demon. And Sherry says, isn't this the guy who does the weird stuff? Yes. Brenda says, Alex showed the CIA doc of Simple Sabotage where walking out is part of it, and that they were passing out the pamphlets of the CDC employees.
I'm not going to say that the new CDC guy is any better. So over here, Michelle from Jason Bassler, they just made a Peter Thiel loyalist Jim O'Neill CDC director, ex-Thiel Foundation director, worked at Thiel's Mithril Capital, embedded in Thiel's inner circle, pushed FDA reforms, echoing Peter Thiel's. Now, Peter Thiel is a crazy, weird, transhumanist gay man, billionaire.
Who funded J.D. Vance so that he could become president next.
So if you scroll down, you'll see the ex-Palantir employees in the Trump administration. J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, David Sachs, Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, Jim O'Neill, the Deputy Secretary to HHS, Ken Howley, the U.S. Ambassador to Denmark, Jacob Hellberg, AI tech defense policy and U.S.-China relations at State Department. Don't
forget Susie Wiles.
She represented Palantir.
Vivek
This
Ramaswamy.
is a very long
It just
list.
keeps going.
I don't trust him.
I can't.
If you go to, I do have a good one here from Ron Johnson's, though. Here we have Ron Johnson. He's been so great on vaccines, and he's going to allow him to talk about the MMR and autism connection, which I'm very glad about.
What you've witnessed in terms of the capture of the agencies that you're now in charge of, the corruption of science, which I believe you just said, that is almost your number one goal, right, is try to bring integrity and credibility back to science, which has been corrupted by the people who pay for it, by federal health agencies being captured by pharmaceutical industries, by big pharma, by big food. Just, I want to give you, I'm sorry, just the last minute to, first of all, defend yourself, but talk about the corruption of science that you're having to deal with and trying to correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you one example, and I could sit here and give you thousands. But in 2002, CDC did an internal study of Atlanta and Fulton County, Georgia children, and looked at children who got the MMR vaccine on time and compared those to kids who got them later. So in other words, kids who got them before 36 months and kids who got them afterward. The data from that study showed that black boys who got the vaccine on time had a 260% greater chance of getting an autism diagnosis than children who waited. The chief scientist on that, Dr. William Thompson, the senior vaccine safety scientist at CDC, was ordered to come into a room with 4 other co-authors by his boss, Frank DiStefano, who's the head of the immunization safety branch, and ordered to destroy that data. And then they published it without that fact. So you know that story, I know that story, and you know of hundreds of stories like that. It happens all the time. We are being lied to by these agencies, and we're going to change that right now.
Wow, that was amazing. That was really good.
Thank you.
That was some good news. Listen, you know, on our show, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust RFK Jr. I think that he has a lot of really good things, and I think he has some weak spots. And unfortunately, if anybody in a position of power has weaknesses, they will be exploited. And that's a problem. But that being said, I think that when he says that, he means it. Whether he can actually achieve it, I don't know.
All right, Michelle, I want you to play first here this Google co-founder, Sergey Brin. This is the meeting. This is the dinner that we're all upset about. This was the dinner of the Welcome to OK Corral. This is Zuckerberg, Microsoft, so Facebook, Microsoft, Google, David Sachs, Bill Gates, all of the elite enemies of Trump and the American people in one room. And I'm going to play just a snippet here from the Google co-founder, and then like this kiss the ring, going around and kissing the ring here in a second.
I also just wanted to mention, we don't have to get into all the details talked about in the Oval Office, but I think it's a real incredible inflection point right now in AI, and the fact that your administration is supporting our companies instead of fighting with them. It's hugely important. Obviously, it's a global race, and I think we're at the cusp where these AI models are about to become profoundly useful, kind of beyond the, okay, wow, it's cool, can do that, but actually day-to-day incredible utility, incredible productivity. So very grateful for your administration support. I also just wanted.
All right, Michelle, if you go to my Twitter, you're going to see the kiss that go around the kiss the ring. And this just made me want to puke. I've never like, it was, just scroll down. Keep going.
Oh, we lost Twitter?
Oh, you have to go back and try to find it?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Twitter.
Right here?
No. We're going to go to the White House. Keep going. Right here. Yep.
Oops.
For hosting us. I mean, this is quite a group to get together.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor to work here at the White House and to work for you.
Very grateful for your administration support.
We look forward to working together, and thanks for your leadership.
We're so grateful for that support.
Thank you so much, obviously, for bringing us all together.
We're so grateful.
Okay, this is the CEO of Advanced Micro Devices, Lisa Su.
For that support.
Thank you so much.
Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft.
Obviously, for bringing us all together and the policies that you have put in place. Thank you very much. And also, I wanted to thank Madam First Lady for hosting.
I want to thank you for
Tim Cook, CEO of Apple.
including me this evening. It's incredible to be among everyone here, particularly you and the First Lady. I also want to thank you for helping American companies around the world. I want to thank the First Lady for focusing on education.
First of all, to echo the comment
Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI.
Of Tim and others, thank you so much for getting us all together, and thank you for being such a pro-business, pro-innovation president.
Thank you. Thank you for
Safra Katz, CEO of Oracle.
everything you're doing.
Thank you for
Bill
incredible
Gates.
leadership, including getting this group together.
Thank you, Bill. That is very nice.
Cannot. And everybody's like, it's 4D chess. Keep your, and do you know how many comments that said, keep your enemies closer? And I'm like, you know what? I'm here to tell you something about enemies and closeness. There's like a time where you keep your enemies close, but you don't get,
you can put them in jail.
but you
if you're
don't get
president.
in bed with the enemy.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Okay, because
Not
you're
that
not
close.
no spy.
You're not, yeah,
Okay.
you're not, yeah, you are totally not James Bond.
We don't
here.
get in bed with the enemy like that, like Trump. No, we don't play those
Well,
games.
in the second phase of my career, giving away all the wonderful money that Satya's good work has helped multiply a lot. But I think the thing that ties my first career that I still spend some time on because AI is so phenomenal, and my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing, and the president and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases. He mentioned polio, which is one that we're close. We don't need new science on that one. For some like HIV and sickle cell, we do need new science, but the U.S. Has the seeds that in the same way that Warp Speed took those seeds and put them together, I think something fantastic can be done. AI for our foundation is that we want a doctor for everyone in Africa through AI. We want farmers to have incredible advice and kids to have a chance to learn. So the work being done by the people at this table is changing the world. It's coming fast, so it's great. We all get together and talk about how the U.S. can lead in this key area and apply it even to the poorest outside the U.S. as well as to our great citizens.
So in case you didn't know, there was also something that happened this week, and I'm going to play a couple clips from the War Room on this, of Steve Bannon, because at least he's calling out this nonsense. Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of people at his place. and one of them that stayed overnight with him. You know, you don't really pal up with men, do you? Do you really stay at each other's houses, dudes? Because Bill Gates stayed at Epstein's house. He's on the list.
But it's worse than that. So Bill Gates's ex-wife was not happy about his relationship with Epstein.
And left him over that.
Right. Now, I would like to address something. Again, for those of you that are actually watching our show, this is not addressed to you. But we had so many comments that I can't help myself. Back to the 4D chess and keep your enemies closer thing. All of these people hated Trump for 8 years. Okay? From 2016 to, 7 to 2023, they said Trump is Hitler. Like all of them. Trump is bad man, orange man bad. And now they all love him. So let me ask you this. What is Trump saying? So you're saying, okay, Trump is putting on a face. They are not lying. They are happy to be there. They are happy to be working with President Trump. So just what exactly is Trump saying to these people to make them love him so much? I'm just going to pose that question right there. Brenda says they probably put their mattresses on the floor together. Jill says, does Gates have any idea how much important info is lost in helping people when you can't do a physical exam? Back to, she's talking about these AI doctors. Kimberly Venzel says, Gates, if we do a really good job on vaccines, we can lower the world's population by 10 to 15%. Thank you, Kimberly Venzel. Wait,
So,
what?
Let's play a couple more clips if you go to my Twitter profile.
Okay.
From 2014, a man at Bill Gates' house was arrested with 6,000 child rape photos.
Wait.
Yes.
We've not played this before?
No, I just saw this. Scroll down, just past this. We'll come back up to this one.
Oh my gosh. Wait, why was the guy there?
State. And tonight he's charged with having and trading a massive amount of child pornography. KRO 7's Gary Horker is live near the Gates compound in Medina. And Gary, this man worked as an engineer for the family.
That's what SPD and intelligence found out, Steve. They found out that the man actually worked for the Bill and Melinda Gates mansion on the grounds of their sprawling 66,000 square foot estate, and that's where they found him and questioned him last March. The estate is behind us right on the lakefront here, but this is a few blocks away, and it's as close as their security will allow us to get. But according to King County prosecutors, 51-year-old Rick Allen Jones was questioned by detectives about images of child porn and even child rape that were sent from Jones's home computer. Now, none of this alleged crime actually happened at the Gates mansion, but it was here that Rick Allen Jones admitted to detectives he collected child porn for about 10 years, sending images through his Gmail account. Now, while Jones was talking to detectives at the Gates estate, 3 more SPD detectives had a search warrant to search Jones's Ballard apartment. There, they say they found more than 6,000 images of graphic child porn and rape, 133 of which were children identified by police. We tried Jones's apartment for comment. We got no response. We also reached out to Bill and Melinda Gates' foundation, and we did not hear back. So, in fact, we do not know if he's been fired by the Gates' family. Another mystery into this is why Jones was never jailed or charged by these allegations up until now. The investigation started here at the Gates Foundation, the Gates Mansion, in March, and the criminal complaint, which I have right here, says he has to show up in court and face a judge in the coming days. So we're going to keep track of this. We're digging into the charges. We'll keep you posted.
Well, your buddy's probably trying to get you off. Michelle, if you go back, scroll up.
So I have
Hold on. Before you speak, let's just play Melinda's Melinda's statement here.
Also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein.
It's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him.
Melinda admits she met Epstein and doesn't mince words about her first impression.
I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It was awful.
Also widely reported that.
You haven't heard much about feeling terrible for those young women from Bill, have you?
Okay, so.
And he's sitting there
I wish you would let me.
next.
Hang on.
Go
I wish
back
you
and-
would, no, it's fine. I just have to, these are two different things for me.
Okay.
So I want to rewind.
You
Forget
want
the
to
Melinda
rant
thing real
on
quick.
each part. Okay.
Okay. Well, they're two totally separate things. So this is Michelle's conspiracy theory, and we're allowed to have those. It's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth, but I don't have truth on this. This is just my theory. I am not convinced that the man that was arrested, that this was just his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The implication is that there's a possibility. Why would you if you were a child porn addict and you wanted to access child porn, are you going to transmit it yourself? Are you going to send and receive it yourself? Or are you possibly going to hire somebody and have it go through their account? Do you understand what I'm saying?
He served 90 days in jail.
For 6,000 images, he only served 3 months.
3 months.
We know people that got years for that stuff.
And some reports suggest that he's not listed as a registered sex offender.
No. Okay, so there's that. Now let's go back to Melinda's statement on Jeffrey Epstein, which is another topic. We have played that clip on our show from her before. When she says that he felt like he was evil personified. She felt like he was evil personified. First of all, you were married to evil personified. Let's right there. Either she's telling the truth, which, I don't really believe her. I think she's evil personified too, but whatever. Either she's telling the truth and he really did give her that creep factor or whatever, or there's another truth to it. She actually knew. And she's saying that she felt a thing. Do you understand what I'm getting at here? She's saying that she felt he was evil personified, or she knew what he was doing. She knew what was going on. And when she met him, she's like, you're this person. Because otherwise, like, I can't imagine that she would just have this intuition to feel that he was evil personified. I think she knew what he was doing and she didn't do anything about it. That to me is the more likely scenario. Leah's looking for her next story. That to me is the more likely scenario.
No, I'm thinking. There's way more here than you can even imagine. I have a video here of Kash Patel saying that Bill Gates was actively meeting with senators to prevent the release of the Epstein Island list. So I am not looking for a next story.
Okay, you're looking for your next bit of information, but you're not engaging with
I'm
me.
engaging
I'm not
in my
feeling
spirit.
Engaged
Okay. I'm
with what I was
engaging in my
saying.
spirit
I
of
feel like I'm just
anger.
talking to, well, everyone else that's listening.
Keep on your rant.
No, that's mostly it. I'm going to reiterate it so you can engage with me again.
Okay.
I'm going to say it one more time.
Okay.
Either she's lying
yes,
about or telling the truth about the evil personified.
Yes.
Right? And she just had this icky feeling.
Yes.
Or when she says, I want to know who this guy is. I want to meet him. She knew exactly what he was doing.
Sure.
And so that's what made her have that visceral reaction of he's evil personified. Yeah, he's evil personified because you knew. I think she knew the whole time what was going on. It's not just this like, oh, he just gave me the creeps because, and I didn't know why he gave me the creeps, but I just knew he had. Why? If
no, because
gave
the
you
whole
nightmares?
point. No, everyone knew at that time who he was because Bill Gates was the only person meeting with Epstein after the 2008 case. So I felt like that was a well-known thing.
So 7 Ange says Melinda Gates is as guilty as Bill Gates. She says she is also evil personified. You took the words out of my mouth, Michelle. Well, there you go. Kimberly says, I can't look at Melinda Gates without seeing Kevin Kline in drag. That's accurate. I saw her smirk and make satanic comments about depopulation, says 7 Ange. There you go. That's all from Rumble. I haven't had a chance to recheck everywhere else on the live comments
Okay,
yet.
so Kash Patel is telling us there's no there, and there's no list. This is the switch that's coming down from Donald Trump.
To try to get it. That Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? That Bill Gates.
So what the heck are you doing?
What are you doing, Cash?
Cash, you're telling us there's no list. There's no there. Trump is trying to tell us that it's a Democrat hoax. What is happening? If you go back there, you scroll up, Michelle. Bill Gates met with Jeffrey Epstein, many, many times. Here we go. This is the Epstein conference that happened this week.
It was a press conference, and the victims themselves came out and spoke.
Now, some people are saying, why don't they just name names? Because they can be sued. So Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie are coming up with an idea on how they could actually read names from the House floor, because Congress has immunity from prosecution from anything they do on the House floor.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Transparency is justice. Release the files, end the secrecy, and stand with us in declaring that no one, no billionaires, no politicians, not world leaders, is above the law. And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that.
That's brilliant. Wow.
So I would like to go over here to some of the war room. All right. Do I want to go over here? Is this the I think I had another one. All right, let's go over here to Thomas Massie. Let's do Thomas Massie over here.
His is a little quiet. I downloaded it and I had to crank it up. I had to add volume to it. So we're looking for call to activism there. So you'll have to just listen really good.
You can play Marjorie first.
Okay. Well, she's
Scary
really
thing
loud.
to name names, but I will tell you, I'm not afraid to name names. And so if they want to give me a list, I will walk in that Capitol on the House floor and I'll say every damn name that abused these women. I can do that for them, and I'd be proud to do it. Now, another thing, this is not about politics, and this is a boiling point in American history where the American people, just like Roe just said, there's become two Americas. There's the America for the rich and the powerful and the elite, where they never face any struggles or problems and never experience what real America goes through. And then there's forgotten America that faces all the problems and deals with all the issues and never gets justice for being sexually assaulted and raped by a monster. It shouldn't exist anymore, and people are sick of it. So let's recognize the fact that the administration before and the one before it and the one before it and the one before it and before it never did anything about this. So this isn't one political party or the other. It's a culmination of everyone worked together to silence these women and protect Jeffrey Epstein and his cabal. And this is not just rich, powerful people. Think his drivers, his maids, his chefs, all the people, people that worked in his home, security guards. I heard one story from a young woman that was being raped by Jeffrey Epstein when he was out on work release while he was serving time in prison and had an ankle monitor on his leg. Guess what? There was a police officer outside that door. So this list of names is quite a list of names, and it doesn't extend just in the rich, powerful circles. It extends down to the very bottom where people were paid. And again, I will say this, there's victims suffering today in similar circumstances, and they're terrified to name the names of the people that are currently abusing them. And so with these brave, courageous women fighting this fight, this is a fight for women and children and any person that is facing sexual abuse and rape and captivity and human trafficking right now. And so here's what I ask you in the press. Don't go for salacious headlines. Go for the truth and defend these women and help those of us in Congress that are crossing our political party lines for doing the right thing and trying to do it together.
All right. That was a great speech, by the way. Now let's play Massey a little bit here. And then I'm going to play him with James O'Keefe because it's very interesting.
It's shameful that this has been called a hoax. Hopefully today we can clear that up. This is not a hoax. This is real. There are real survivors. There are real victims to this criminal enterprise. And the perpetrators are being protected because they're rich and powerful and political donors to the establishment here in Washington, D.C. I think it's shameful.
Okay, so I want to play the next one here. This is Trump, again, saying that this Epstein deal is to the right is a hoax.
Mr. President, right now there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massey, who is sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more.
You haven't given us
and
anything.
nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C., it's a totally safe zone. It's called a safe zone. That's a term. It's a term of art. It's a safe zone because it's very safe. You can walk down the street now and nothing's going to happen. No crime, no murders, no nothing. Because we had a lot of problems with certain places, and we still do.
Okay, you can stop that. So Epstein survivors are having a press conference, President Trump. Do you have comments on this? All he said was it's a hoax. All he needed to say was, I'm so sorry for what happened to these girls. It was awful. Epstein was not a great guy. But when you say it's a hoax, you implicate yourself. Exactly. You are not. And then when you eat with Bill Gates and all these other elites, you're saying I am siding with them. Now, Michelle, I just retweeted this. This is James O'Keefe. He has the DOJ deputy chief admits the government will redact every Republican while leaving all the liberal Democrat people and on the client list, and says that Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a lower security prison as a benefit to keep her mouth shut.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files. Leave all the liberal Democratic people in those files.
I think they visited that Maxwell person.
Yeah.
And also involved.
She got transferred to a minimum security prison too recently, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender. They're offering her something to keep it on shut.
That was the acting deputy chief of the Office of Enforcement Operations, Joseph Schnitt, telling a stranger about the FBI and DOJ's handling of the Epstein files. Schnitt, who works at a high level inside the Department of Justice, goes on to comment on the inconsistent statements, special treatment of Ghislaine Maxwell, and the blatant backtracking on promises of transparency.
And what do you do for work again?
I work for the Department of Justice.
Okay.
Been there like 23 years. I'm an analyst. I'll be acting deputy chief of our office for a few months starting next week. I work closely with like all the federal law enforcement agencies and the U.S. attorney's offices, the prosecutors and stuff. The thing is, it's interesting because I do deal with so many of the agencies, like the Bureau of Prisons, the Marshal Service, the FBI, U.S. attorney's offices.
Recently, the FBI and DOJ have come under fire for promising transparency, then refusing to release footage and unredacted documents, going directly against the public's expectations and the promises made by Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel. In a DOJ press release, Attorney General Pam Bondi stated, quote, "This Department of Justice is following through on President Trump's commitment to transparency and lifting the veil on the disgusting actions of Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirators," unquote, and also claimed they were shedding light on Epstein's extensive network, only to later claim that Epstein was acting alone, and that the only video evidence they had was of Epstein's personal child porn collection.
Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were.
In the same press release, Kash Patel claimed, quote, "There will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned."
So on the Epstein matter or any other matters, we are diligently working on that. I'm not going to withhold information from the American public ever.
Only to later claim on Joe Rogan's podcast that releasing any videos would re-victimize those impacted.
We're not going to re-victimize women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine.
But, you know, internally there's a lot of, even within the administration, there's internal conflict.
Oh, okay.
Like the head of FBI really wants it. Second in command at FBI has been like causing problems.
Dan
because he's
Bongino.
like, no, these have to be released.
Yeah. So the FBI wants them out.
Yep, the top two guys there do that.
And Bonnie does it.
I don't know what Bonnie wants. Bonnie wants whatever Trump wants.
Sure.
She's super desperate.
Why is there suddenly this internal conflict within the same administration that aggressively campaigned?
So that's
in
the wide-eye
2024
look that we
to
get from
release the
Bongino.
Epstein files to the
I'm
public?
trying to do
What
something,
new
guys,
revelations
but
did
they
the
won't let
DOJ
me.
and FBI make to now say that an incriminating client list does not exist? DOJ analyst Joseph Schnitt comments on these inconsistencies and informs our undercover journalist that even if anything was to be released, it would be heavily redacted in favor of the Republican Party, indicating that this DOJ official, Joseph Schnitt, probably leans Democrat.
Do you think like the stuff with Epstein will actually get released or not at all?
If it does, it'll be heavily redacted and his name won't be in it.
But those files do exist.
There's files.
Yeah.
For sure. There's, thousands and thousands of pages of files. But again, if they're released in any way, it's going to be very redacted. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, leave all the liberal, Democratic people in those files, and have a very slanted version of it come out where it's like, look at what he's doing without releasing any of their bad behavior.
This is James O'Keefe. You know me for exposing the truth.
So I don't know what you guys think about that or not, but if you scroll, go back to James, scroll up, or go to James O'Keefe's profile.
Okay.
Sorry. I want to scroll down. I want to play just a little bit of this interview with Thomas Massie, which I felt was really amazing, actually.
So much, but they agree with you privately? Are they just talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
that for a minute?
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it. That's it in a nutshell. I don't think my colleagues are happy about covering up for pedophiles, but that's what's happening. And it's so sick and twisted. The reason they're doing it is because they're terrified of President Trump's political machine. He's also gone as far as to say, oh, this could endanger the survivors. But that's false. Every survivor was asked, do you support the Massie's legislation? And they all raised their hand.
What is your price? Because if your price is not your life.
Networks carry it. Most importantly,
that
the
he's chosen
survivors had a platform, and nobody can call this a hoax anymore. I was shocked myself. I was hoping the survivors would compel my colleagues to co-sponsor my effort to release these files. But what I found out is it emboldened me to redouble my efforts because I was driven to tears, really, listening to their stories.
And I watched the press conference. I was physically there. I was walking around. I did.
Were you wearing a disguise? Were you the blonde?
Actually, I did have a wig.
Okay.
I did have a wig. I was not physically in the gaggle with you. I was off to the side, and I released a video about it yesterday. There was a lot of, left-wing agitator types there, believe all women, and talking about Clarence Thomas and Brett Kavanaugh, and I just noticed a lot of what I would characterize as like liberal activists, maybe perhaps using that to their advantage. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we had the bicycle barricades set up. I'm only responsible for what happened inside of the bicycle barricade.
So he goes on to say, and you can close that down. I highly recommend you guys watch it, that people in the Republican Party want to co-sponsor his bill to release the Epstein files. They do support him, but they say that if they go against Trump, let's say that there were like 7 people in their primary field and they were one of 7, they don't have the ability to go against Trump if Trump
makes an announcement like he did with Massey and says, I will just fund your opponent. I'll find an opponent and I'll fund them. They don't have the funds. And so they literally cannot go against the Trump machine. Trump is walking out the dictator that he has been accused of, that we defended against for years.
We all be able to talk about all the things, right? So this is Thomas Massey's political hit back ad.
Can we be honest with the American people about what's going on here? This is political
He's got
theater.
2 billionaires.
No, I don't think Thomas Massey understands government. I think he's a grandstander, frankly.
The president's consultants have spent $1.8 million against me.
What he promised us was we would put America first.
Most Democrats are just fine with this kind of totalitarian state that the bureaucrats are pushing on us. But Republicans at least pretend to be against these things.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
This is not going away. How many agents or assets of the federal government were present on January 6th?
We are going to the Capitol.
The American public isn't buying it.
We're knocking out bump stocks.
What he's showing us here is not a bump stock. And I would hope that we've learned something from the COVID experience, that some of our science projects aren't the best ideas.
I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good.
If you look at my colleagues' feeds now, they all look the same. Everybody but me has an AIPAC person. It sets up a fake fight that we all know here is fake. The compromise has already been reached in a smoke-filled back room here. You don't have anything over on me. Like, you could literally take everything I've got and I can create it again. I refuse to be a thespian in this failure theater.
Wow. That was good.
Speaking of that.
What's the 09/03/2025? Is that when it launched?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's his campaign launching. Okay.
Yeah, he said he's got a couple billionaires that are, launching a campaign against him. Speaking of the vaccines, I want to go to Florida. But first, we're going to go with 2 stories coming out of Florida and then Trump's response to one of them. Ron DeSantis said he is going to allow the Florida voters to abolish property taxes. He can't just do it. It has to be in law. But the Senate and the House can put a proposed law on a ballot. And if you get, you have to get like 60 plus, % in Florida to make it an amendment. This is a constitutional amendment. We're trying to do that in Ohio, but we're getting signatures because our governor stinks. They are bypassing it, and our legislatures stink because they don't know what else. They can't think outside the box. But I love this.
You mean they can't think outside their donors?
This isn't the one you want. It's the one right next to it. We're going to play this one.
It just said massive. I've got what you have up.
This one first, to the left.
Major. Oh, I read wrong. Okay.
We're going to get to that one.
Okay. There's a lot from Eric here. Here we go.
Property tax. But
no, this is property tax.
That's what we're talking about. Property taxes.
Yes. We were on vaccines.
We're on 2 stories tonight.
Right. So I thought you would have rolled right into vaccines from vaccines.
No. We're talking about, we said Ohio. We have a signature thing you can sign right upstairs.
Yes, I'm following.
Okay.
Something I can just ask the legislature, hey, cut the millage.
I'm still on vaccines. I knew there was 2 DeSantis Florida stories and one was vaccines.
We got the local taxes. That is your counties and your cities. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a question on the ballot that is going to allow Floridians to be able to vote themselves relief from property tax. And as I said, my vision is if you own your home, to truly own it, you have to own it free and clear of the government. You shouldn't have to pay rent to the government. And, there'll be people that are, buying investment properties, fine, that's different. There's differences, but your personal home, we really believe should not be subject to tax. It's an unrealized gain.
Thank you.
And I'm just one that's if you tax me at point of sale, I buy a car and I pay a sales tax on it. But for me to then just, pay a tax on the value every now, cars usually when you drive them off the lot go down. Now during COVID, the cars actually went up in value. You'd buy a car, there was such a shortage that you could drive it off the lot and then you could even flip it for $5,000-$10,000 profit because there was such a rush to buy vehicles. But that's our vision. So. And of course, so what do people say? Oh, that can't be done. You can't do that. And my question is why can't it be done? Look, the first place we went to with these audits was Broward County, Florida. They got 1.9 million people. They've had no net population growth over the last 5 years. Their budget's increased 60%.
Oh my gosh.
That's because of the property taxes that they're.
Oh my gosh.
So the other good thing happening in Florida is that they are not going to mandate vaccines for kids. So here we have Lopato over here, Joseph Lopato, the very best Surgeon General in the entire country.
He was one of the frontline doctors in D.C. in 2020.
Florida has got it going on. I mean, Ron DeSantis should be president. He is doing America first. Ron DeSantis is the most America first politician that America has had in the last 100 years.
But what I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida.
Come on, preach it, brother.
All of them. All of them.
Come on.
Every last one of them. Yeah.
Hey, come on. Come on.
Woo! Every last one of them.
Oh, yes.
All of them.
Come on. The United States of Florida. Come on. Can't we just all be like Florida?
Every one of them.
Every
last one of them is
Keep
wrong
saying
and
it.
drips with disdain
You are preaching,
and slavery. Okay? Who am I as a government or anyone else, or who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body?
Nobody.
Thank you.
Who am I?
Love you,
to
brother.
tell you what your child should put in your body?
Good boy. You made him excited.
I don't have that right.
Lie down.
Your body,
Lie down.
Your body is a gift from God.
Come on.
What you put into your body, is because of your relationship with your body and your God. I don't have that right.
Come on.
Government does not have that right. They want you to believe they have that right. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they've been successful. Mm-hmm. They've been successful.
So I love that from him so much. And I'm amazed he didn't say your body, your choice.
I know.
It was like he was this close to saying
it. At this same event, Ron DeSantis announces the creation of the Florida MAHA Commission.
Happy to be here today to make the first announcement, and Joe Latipo is going to make an announcement of the Florida MAHA Commission as a working group which will recommend state-level integration of these Make America Healthy principles. And those principles are, as I mentioned, individual medical freedom, informed consent, parent rights, and also market innovation. It will be chaired by First Lady Casey DeSantis and our Lieutenant Governor, Jay Collins, and will also include Surgeon General Joe Latipo, ACA Secretary Siobhan Harris, DCF Secretary Taylor Hatch, Elder Affairs Secretary Michelle Branham, Department of Environmental Protection Secretary Alexis Lambert, practice. The commission will have several main objectives, including, and Joe Latipo does a good job on this, promoting clean, safe, and nutritious food industry, improving transparency and accountability in healthcare, working on the causes of chronic diseases to identify and prevent future occurrences, and, maybe more importantly, restoring trust in the medical profession and in public health. The Florida MAHA Commission will prioritize reforms that empower Floridians, reduce regulatory burdens, and hold actors accountable for their conduct while fostering incentives for healthy living and innovation. And I think that this is something.
So you can pause that. I know that they have to keep saying innovation because that's what RFK Jr. is doing with the Means kids, and I hate that so much. But the fact that, like, Ron DeSantis, literally when they say he's got his hand on the pulse, he has his hand on the pulse of MAGA. What did we want? This is what we wanted. We want to end property taxes. Donald Trump is all bluster. He's not having a press conference on with the governor saying, how do we end property taxes and relieve a very real burden that people are suffering every day?
He's mentioned it, and I put that in air quotes a couple of times. And he's just really,
he just throws things out, but there's nothing to be done.
Yeah, there's no tangibility
Ron
to it.
DeSantis is putting on the ballot for Floridians saying, do you want to end property taxes? Okay, he's making it so that there's no vaccine mandates. Trump is meeting with Bill Gates and all these other people who still want to make vaccines. Well, let's just play Trump right here. He thinks that this is a bad idea. This is what we want. This is what MAHA wants. This is what MAHA and MEGA want. Right to the right of it.
The vaccine mandates that were rolled back for school children. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we have to be very careful. Look, you have some vaccines that are so amazing. The polio vaccine, I happen to think, is amazing. A lot of people think that COVID is amazing. There are many people that believe strongly in that. But you have some vaccines that are so incredible. And I think you have to be very careful when you say that some people don't have to be vaccinated. It's a very tough position. So I'd give you an answer. I'll give you a feeling. But just initially, I heard about it yesterday. And, it's a tough stance. Look, you have vaccines that work. They just pure and simple work. They're not controversial at all.
Sorry.
And I think those vaccines should be used. Otherwise, some people are going to catch it, and they endanger other people. And when you don't have controversy at all, I think people should take it. Okay.
One more. He just said it's dangerous if you don't make people get jabs. He was this close to mandating and having, you guys do not know. He admitted he was going to make that COVID vaccine a military rollout and stab it into everybody's arm without your consent. He said he was going to make it a military operation. When will the Trump cultists wake up? We've been lied to. We've been scammed. We've been cheated. Trump is Scott Kesterson on steroids, on giant worldwide steroids. He is a very not in doing good things person. How else would you like to describe that? I think it's dangerous when you don't force children and other people even to have a needle and something that could do harm to them in their arms, in their bodies. And now he's meeting with all these new vaccine people, all these new vaccine, and these are the arguments that RFK Jr. is having, and he is trying to stick it out. I really truly believe that he thinks he's there to try to be Tom Thumb with his thumb in the wall of the dam that is breaking.
So you said, what would you call it? I would say
what are your comments? I need
bought off. I would call it bought off. Trump has to say this because he is owned and he enjoys the friendship of these people. Okay. It's as simple as that. Okay. It really is. Anyone still using the argument of, if you don't take a vaccine, then you might be responsible for getting other people sick. Doesn't make any sense. because if they took the vaccine and they get it, then their vaccine
Didn't work.
I remember when I was in 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade, because I was in public school. And I didn't get would that have been the Hep C?
Hep B.
Hep B vaccine?
Mm-hmm.
Because we were allowed to get
yeah,
an excused religious exemption.
Yeah.
So I did that mainly, and I'll be straight up honest, I just didn't want to be poked with a needle.
Mm-hmm.
So both Leah and I opted out of getting the Hep B vaccine in 7th grade because it was required to go to school unless you had an exemption.
Mm-hmm.
And my girlfriends on the softball team, it was Emily and Angie. And they were like, oh my gosh, but like, if you don't get that, and then I get it because you didn't get it. And like, I was so young at the time, like I didn't have that argument, but I remember thinking to myself, like, wait, I didn't say this out loud, but I remember thinking it like, but if you get it and you have the vaccine, then like, how are you supposed to get it? And they were really mean about it, like super mean to me about this. Because I remember literally we were in Emily's mom's big giant conversion van. I remember the conversation. Isn't that weird? Like I remember her saying that. And it's just absolutely ridiculous.
So I've got it after. I want to hear people's comments, and I have another video on it. But go ahead. I want to hear your comments on this.
Okay, over on Instagram, back to the other topic. Mark says, "Good evening, dear friends. I was at that whole press conference. You are correct. If they release the names without connecting with Congress, they could be sued and/or prosecuted. It's sad. Some are still being harassed, stopped by law enforcement, having people following them, and in some cases being threatened to." Still to this day, I used to be a special protection agent helping to protect some victims in LA discreetly. I have stopped some from being taken at events and gatherings at Hollywood parties. Well, that's really fascinating, Mark. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we went back to that topic, and we'll get back to the vaccines in a second. But I would love to remind everybody of the name of one of Epstein's most famous victims, and that is Virginia Guthrie. Virginia Guthrie is the one that's in the picture with Bill Clinton, right? We had that argument the other day.
Not Bill Clinton.
It's Prince Andrew.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. I always get the two confused. Who's the one in the picture with Bill Clinton in the airport?
I don't know. Nobody
There's a
knows her
blonde.
name. Nobody knows her name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nobody knows her name.
Well, I don't know it. Maybe you
So,
guys do.
Virginia Guthrie is dead now. She's not alive. She was one of the most ardent and vocal who named names and had to come out on Twitter and everywhere that she was and say, I am not suicidal. If I die, I have been killed. Okay. Is it my understanding that she died in a car accident?
Yeah. I don't know. She was in a car accident, really injured, and then she like died.
Point is, she's dead.
Yeah.
So you've got these women who are, I'm going to say they may be less afraid of being sued than they are of being Clintoned.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're looking at their leader, essentially, Virginia Guthrie, who was the most vocal out of all of them. And she's not in existence anymore, but hopefully she's with Jesus. But like, she's not on this earth. And what happened to her? I do not believe that it was just random that she died. She had fight in her. She had fire in her. She was ready to take this thing on. She had every reason to believe that when Trump got in office, that these things were going to be released. She had every reason to hope. You know, it was like really reaching this kind of boiling point where she was going to be vindicated for all of the things that she said. And then she dies. So that's my thoughts. I wanted to say that earlier and then I forgot to get it out. But I'm not buying any of this stuff. Okay, so Kimberly says unvaxxed people are not walking disease factories. Thank you. Jules says the HPV shot was the same for me and how people treated me. Jim says it goes back to his days of the junior beauty contest. His friends took part in the pedophile crimes, but they were his friends and he didn't dump them. Well said.
Yes.
7 Ange says, yes, the COVID vax did work. People who were not vaxxed got sick when they were close to people who were vaxxed. That's true.
So if you play this next video here, some important information from a doctor about vaccine mandates around the world. There's some hysteria about what Florida is doing, but 17 EU countries don't have mandatory vaccines.
And vaccine with a complex view of vaccines. How about that? Doctor, educate us. Thoughts on vaccines, which is, I bet, why you logged on in a hurry, even though you're on the move.
Well, no, actually, you know what I'm at? I'm at my daughter's soccer practice right now. I just got here from work, so that's why I was on late.
Awesome.
But I just heard that last comment, and I don't want to take up too much time, but maybe I'll log on tomorrow morning. But I could talk for 10 minutes. I just want to put into this audience, just for information's sake. I think there's a lot of hysteria around what Florida is doing and around moving from potentially mandatory vaccination to recommended vaccination. 17 EU countries, that's what their policy is. Canada, the UK, Australia, all of Scandinavia, India, China, none of them have mandatory childhood vaccinations. Only 20 countries in the world mandate vaccines for school. And there are several countries within the Americas that mandate vaccines writ large. So we're in a pretty unique, pretty minority position here in this country that we mandate it for school only. But to say that moving towards recommended from mandatory is somehow antithetical to science is just not true. It's not in line with what goes on around the globe in developed countries. South Korea did that in 1999, for example, and I don't think people think of South Korea or Scandinavia as anti-science, backwaters. So I did want to just make that point. I think framing it in the way that was just done is the most important thing we can do for this conversation, that people on both sides that are parents and non-parents care deeply about their kids. And I think that has to be the framing of this conversation rather than the partisan spin that happens so frequently. I think people who are staunchly pro-vaccine care about their kids deeply. And I think there are parents who have seen in their own lives or in people's lives around them the adverse effects from vaccines potentially, also care deeply about their kids. And I think the nuance required for this conversation is only possible in a place like Two-Way. And even here, it probably still doesn't get enough time for the nuance it requires, frankly.
This coming from a guy that's wearing a Vanderbilt Institute
I know,
World Health
right?
t-shirt.
Good for him.
Okay. And I think that's Chris Hemsworth in the middle there. I don't know. Does he look like him?
Yeah, that kind of does look like him. All right. I wanted to go over here to one of Bannon's rants on having Bill Gates, Mr. Vaccine, in the White House.
That guy should be in prison. He should be in a cell. Bill Gates, on a day that Bobby Kennedy gets, that Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, is ripping his face off in front of the world, you're going to have Bill Gates, Mr. Vaccine? What in the hell are we doing? Whoever set that dinner up should be perp walked out of the White House today.
Work for Pfizer.
Somebody's got to get control of this deal. Okay?
Can't. It's run away.
On the economic messaging, on all the messaging, President Trump's policies are hammering home maximalist urgency.
Nope, you're trying too hard, Bannon. I know you're trying too hard.
I don't trust that crowd around the table.
Nope.
Around the president. The president, they're a nest of vipers.
Yep.
They do not support you. Nobody more viciously went after you than the big tech bros in your first term. They had no earthly idea you would come back. They hedged their bets. They're smart business guys. They hedged their bet in case you won. And then once you won, hey, they're down for it. They're MAGA. This is dangerous. Number one, it's just stupid politically because it's going to get us crushed.
It is, and it is getting you crushed. It's getting you crushed because Donald Trump is tweeting that it's a Democrat hoax. Okay, and then he tweets this out a few days ago. Prices are way down in the USA with virtually no inflation, with exception of ridiculous corrupt politicians approved windmills, which are killing every state and country that uses them. Energy prices are falling big time. I need to talk to you. Gasoline is at many-year lows. All of this despite magnificent tariffs, which are bringing in trillions of dollars from countries that took advantage of us for decades and are making America strong and respected again. I had to break that apart So first of all, we talked about this. Energy prices are not down. And if that even happened within the last 2 days, that's not okay. Because everybody on Next Door Neighbor app around me and on Facebook is saying, how did my energy bill go up by $100, $200, $300?
Yeah.
That's insane. Grocery prices haven't gone down. I've gone to the grocery store. You don't get to tell me, oh, you know what? Cheerios is down 10%. No, it's not, by the way. And nobody should buy Cheerios, but here, okay. The grocery prices, which most people have to go to the grocery store, okay? Even we go to the grocery store for certain things. And when you go, if I come out with a handful of items under $100, I'm like, yay me, okay? I was like, a 10-pound bag of potatoes is $6.99. What in the wide world of sports is going on around here? $7.99. Like, I can't even buy cheap potatoes. Okay? I can't even buy, again, there's nothing inexpensive anymore, Trump, but you and your sons just made a $5.5 billion deal. You went over to the Middle East. That's the only place you've gone since you've been president is to the Middle East.
Do you want to go to this next then?
Yes. It's to the Middle East. And they made a $100 million deal here with one Middle Eastern country and a couple $100 million deal with this Middle Eastern country and $5.5 billion deal with Qatar, sir. I don't think people are aware. Again, a billion is 1,000 million. Okay? So we're talking about 5,500 million. And you know what? If I had 5,500 million, I wouldn't be worried about gas prices or electricity or anything else either, would I, Mr. Trump? If you're a billionaire, you're not pinching pennies. People are suffering out here, you nincompoop. And I'm not trusting there's no plan to trust. It doesn't exist. Go ahead and play that guy.
It's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen Z and millennials' cost of living in today's world. So number one is rent. Everyone knows that Gen Z and millennials have to have a roommate. So splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with utilities is around $1,500.
They did not. I remember going to Rama, and half my friends had individual apartments that they could afford. And you know what else they could afford? To go out to eat almost every single Wednesday and Sunday. And do whatever they needed to do on maybe a server's wage, just a waitress or little, like I had a friend of mine who all she did was sit there at a
toll booth.
Oh, was there a toll booth? No, I was thinking about those Rent-A-Center places, storage units.
Oh, okay.
All she did was sit there and do her books, and she had enough money. She made enough money. It was like $7 an hour, right? She had a roommate, but she was, she could pay her tuition, she could pay her gas, she could pay anything, and any people went out to eat, and by and large, every single one of my friends that had like it was $7 an hour. That was a good wage back then. And if you made that, you were fine. Like you could just live.
If you have a car, a $12,000 to $15,000 used car is still going to run you $400 a month. Car insurance and gas is another $300. Student loan payment, $500. You're going to have groceries for $500. You're going to have personal care, doctor's appointments, hair, gym, about $150, and then cell phone and miscellaneous $150. That's $3,500 a month, which is baseline. Do you know how much $3,500 a month is? $70,000 a year or $34 an hour. Because after you take out taxes, put $300 for health insurance and do a healthy $500 401k contribution, that leaves you at $3,500. This is no fun, no savings, no maintenance, no clothes, no kids, no traveling, no vacations, no bachelor parties, no weddings, no funerals, no clothes, no school supplies, nothing. And this is paycheck to paycheck. And on top of it, they're holding $40,000 of student loan debt, a $15,000 car, and if they ever wanted to buy a house with closing costs and the down payments, another $50,000. So they need $105,000. So even if they were somehow able to scrounge up after $70,000 of paycheck to paycheck, $5,000 to go to a concert, to have avocado toast, whatever it is, $5,000 a year, it would take them 20 years to pay off this debt and save up for a house. 20 years of living with the roommate where that rent's going up, and they're making $70,000 a year as a college graduate. The average person in this country makes $50,000. It is not the overspending. It is a cost of living crisis.
That's 100% true.
The comments, though, we're half and half.
No.
You know what the boomers say?
No.
Hustle.
No.
Hustle.
Hustle for what?
$75,000 a year better get you a nice little house. And a car better than 15 grand a year.
So I'm gonna
a $15,000 car.
We have a lot to get to left tonight. We only have about an hour left, but you know, when I was a kid, my very, very, very wealthy aunt was making $18 an hour. And I remember like bragging to my friends about it. Like, my aunt is so rich. She makes
How'd you know it was 18? Are you sure?
Yeah, this is
It
like
had to
early
be
90s.
impossible because Dad
this is
was
the
making
early 90s.
No, but that was impossible because she was making six figures, and that's not $18 an hour.
She wasn't making six figures back then.
Aunt Kathy?
You don't think so?
Oh yeah, she worked as a high up at AT&T.
Okay, so well, whatever it was,
yeah,
it was like with $20 an hour.
She made six figures, like $125,000.
It was like whatever it was that I thought she was making. I was telling my friends she was making like $18 or $20 an hour. And that was like so wealthy because like my mom was making like $8.75 on a good day. Right. And that was a big deal that like, because the average person was making like, what was minimum wage in the early 90s? Like $4.30 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And so like my mom was like doing a little bit better when I'm like, 13, 14 years old. But I remember bragging on like my aunt and how much money
I think
that
in
she
the
was
late
making,
90s,
but it was not a lot of money.
Mom worked her way up to like $15 to $18 an hour. It was a big deal at running Spirit America.
Yeah, maybe, but regardless, the idea that it used to be like, please raise your hand. I cannot be the only one here. That when someone made $4,000 or $5,000 a month,
that's huge.
They were making big money.
Yeah,
like big money. Like you were wealthy. You were considered wealthy, like upper middle class. Okay. Like, or at least minimum middle class. You know what I mean? You're comfortable at $5,000 a month, like super uber comfortable. Okay. And nowadays it's like, no, that doesn't even get it. It doesn't get you. I remember when we were making like $2,000 a month and I was like, wow, we're doing pretty good. Like we're making it. Like we've never, $2,000 a month for us was like a lot.
$3,000 is very comfortable.
Yeah.
But was his math right?
I'm not sure. Well, the $1,500 is what puts you over for the rent, right? That's because everything else is, everything else was about right on the math because it adds up so fast when because they're adding student loans. Or not, they're paying their tuition, I should say. So you're paying your tuition, then you're going to keep paying
$500 into savings and $500 into the health savings, $300 into this health savings.
Right. So we don't have that. The 401k or the health, but still this is absolutely untenable. It's not sustainable. You can't do it. But look at that big, giant, long list of things that he said, I'm not even including any of this.
Yeah. You
don't get
you
clothes.
Want to buy somebody a present.
You don't get to go to a concert. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just so sad. Jules says, I have married friends where both are six figures and they are still struggling. Wow.
All right. So don't get LASIK. I want to play this clip.
I have always been worried about this.
I have too. That's why I've never done it. I've thought about it, but my gut just always said no. It's going to be the year left.
Okay. Well, let me close some of these out anyway. All right. To the left.
Yeah. Dr. Cynthia McKay and Dr. Morris Waxler, vision scientist, neurophysiologist, and former branch chief of the PRK LASIK team at the US FDA, have spent many years trying to end the corrupt, harmful, and sometimes fatal consequences of the LASIK eye surgery, spending over 25 years caring for patients with severe eye damage, visual effects, and lifelong suffering due to this dangerous, flawed practice. Yet even to this day, with the corpus of knowledge available to legislators and surgeons, the harmful procedure continues unabated.
There is no person who has had LASIK who does not have complications. I am absolutely terrified that my eyes were damaged from LASIK surgery.
The FDA is not taking care of the health of the public. They're not warning about the dangers of LASIK. After 7 to 8 years, 44% of people lost the ability to see at distance. You lose something called contrast sensitivity, which is the ability to see subtle shades of gray, and that's in 100% of people. It's taking a healthy eye and making it sick. And there are late complications that can come on as long as 25 years later.
What are the risk factors for somebody who's had LASIK, it started wear off, and then they opt to go in again?
Don't have repeat LASIK. Many ophthalmologists feel exactly the way I do. LASIK doesn't make you see better. It always makes you see worse. If you knew you had a 75% chance of having an incurable, untreatable, forever dry eye, would you have wanted LASIK?
Yikes. Leah, that's so scary to me. So I would like to pose, not everybody is a candidate for this, but if you desperately don't want to have to wear glasses during the day or contacts, our friend has done very well with these very specific contacts that she sleeps in at night that form the eye to the whatever shape it needs to be able to let it do what it needs to do. And then so all day long she can go without glasses during the day, which I think is really neat. Because I am terrified of the idea. I've put your you had some non-prescription contacts that I tried in because I wanted to change my eye color.
They were prescription.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were. I wore them a few times. They were.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I tried them on but putting them in my eyes was the worst experience ever. And I guess you get over that, right? Leah wears contacts. Not every day though. But I put them in and I was like, I couldn't do it. Like there are a lot of people that have tried to do contacts and they just can't. And I don't blame them. Yeah. But I think that if I had them and if I could sleep in them, it might be a little bit easier than trying to wear them during the day. So I just want to throw that out there. You're not, obviously Jesus can heal you, but you're not bound to contacts or glasses during the day forever. You may not be, I should say. That is an option that I had never even heard of. And I do have a success story. But back to the LASIK thing. I have heard so many scary stories. Now, I've heard really great success stories. I've heard people that got it that are like, oh my gosh.
Love it. Wish I'd done it sooner.
I wish I had done it sooner. Okay. But the risk is just so terrifying to me.
All right. So we are going to take our switch here to Christian things. We're going to do what's called a commercial break. I love this guy, Keith Foskey. He's going to do a sketch for us. If different denominations were to do a sermon on Labor Day.
This week, our country celebrates Labor Day. And since our church follows the U.S. national holiday schedule for our church calendar, we're going to be talking about the importance of good work. Not for our salvation, because we all know that heaven is free, but a good potluck, now that's earned. Welcome back to our 67th message in the book of Romans. You'll be glad to know that today we're finally going to begin chapter 2. It is imperative that we are able to distinguish between law and gospel. All right, we'll see everyone next week. Welcome, everyone.
United Methodist.
Today we're going to challenge theological assumptions by showing how Jesus' interaction with the Syrophoenician woman demonstrated an inherent bias towards the marginalized, and how even Jesus, who represents the evils of heteronormative masculinity, needed to repent of his racism. Today our message comes from the assigned reading from the lectionary from the third Sunday after Epiphany, Year B, page 472, subsection 3, footnote 7. I was going to read a text tonight, but I just got a message directly from the Lord that says there's somebody out here who needs a touch from the Spirit. So we're going to forego the message and go right into the altar call. We have a line forming right here of people who want to be slain in the Spirit. So ushers, if you could get the catchers and y'all come up here and get ready, because here we go. This week, a major event happened in Israel. So I'm going to be foregoing my regular message. We're going to be going over to Revelation 13 again, so I can show you how the events of the day are fulfilling a prophecy about the end times. Hey guys, welcome back to Big Eva Mega Church Multiplex and Mini Mall. I want to invite you to open up your iPads, go to the Prime app, and go to the 34-minute mark of episode 3 as we continue our summer movie series on the Star Wars movies. And today we're going to be asking this question: where's the Count Dooku in you? So now begins our homily. And we want to remind you that this is probably not a good time to get up and go to the restroom, because by the time you get back, I'll probably be finished. Today we shall discuss
Eastern
why
Orthodox.
Rome is wrong, why Protestants are very wrong, and why some of you are still wrong, and why Constantinople has been right the whole time.
I thought he nailed them all.
No, he did.
Nailed them
That was
all.
awesome.
I was like, oh my gosh, if we could only just make fun of ourselves that much. It was just
That
so
was
good.
good.
Oh my gosh, that was so great. All right, let's go over to the Christian author here, Lee Strobel on Tucker Carlson. I highly recommend you guys just watch the whole thing. It's amazing. He gives a lot of testimonies on seeing angels and what demons can do. But here's just a clip here.
The biggest problem in our culture is to deny that there is a demonic realm, pretend like there isn't.
So what are the hallmarks of it then?
Well, I think some things you mentioned, we see manifestations of it in ways that defy natural explanations. And I think that's probably the best way of
disorder, distraction, chaos, violence, hate, division. Maybe.
And you think if Satan were smart, which he is, would he go around the country and around the world trying to possess or bother average everyday people? Well, you know what? Much more efficient to go to Hollywood and to influence a bunch of people there who are very influential in, let's say, the entertainment industry. And let's say he encourages them to create films and television shows that are funny and that are creative and that are fun, but there's an underlying message to them, that there's a normalization of immoral activity that makes it normal. Because, you know, when we laugh, it opens us up to various possibilities. When we laugh, our defenses come down. So I'm thinking of a wonderful, funny TV show like Friends. Remember Friends, the TV show? It was on TV for years. Very popular show.
Only American who never saw it, but yeah.
No, we never watched it.
Underlying that is a very ugly sexual ethic that normalizes multiple sexual partners and that sort of thing. The kind of thing that Satan would love to inculcate into American culture. And you know what? I think it's much more efficient for Satan to influence movie makers and TV makers in Hollywood to create products that feed us stuff that, without us even realizing it, open us up to the occult, open us up to immoral activity, normalize it in ways that, well, if Monica can do that on Friends, I can certainly have sex on the first date with this guy I meet.
So the way I, as a non-theological, ignorant person, try and figure out whether something's good or bad, because it is an open question very often. It's like, is that good or bad? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Are the people doing it at peace and joyful, happy?
Yeah.
Are they tormented?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people in Hollywood, a lot of people I like, actually. Not too many happy people.
Yeah.
Some really tormented people. Like, for real.
Yeah.
String of wrecked relationships, kids who hate them, trans kids, drug problems. Like, there's so much of that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a fair way to assess?
I think because it is logical that if Satan were to try to influence a culture in a mass way, that is a logical way that he would do it. And, oh, guess what? By the way, look at all the dysfunction we see in that community. It does seem to match up.
So if evil is acting through you, you are harmed too.
Generally, I would say yes. You're going to be someone who's trying to influence others. You may not realize the full reasons why.
But it destroys you.
Yeah, it does destroy you.
It certainly seems to.
Yeah, I think so. Who would, God created us so we could have a relationship with him. So he taught us how we can live in a way that maximizes who we are. And when we stray from that in egregious ways, as many people have and do, there are implications for us.
Wow.
The biggest
that's so good.
Yeah.
You want me to play another one?
No, that's good. He goes on to talk about angels and demons. And
I cannot recommend this interview enough. So, you
Yeah.
know, sometimes Tucker has some weird ones, but this one was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think you guys will really enjoy it. And his, like we said earlier at the start of the show, he had the same low sodium issue that Patriot Gallery had.
Yeah, I don't know
which
if
is
I,
so
like,
fascinating to me.
I don't know if he
No,
does
let's move on to the
Okay, all right.
to what else you
All
have.
right, so Ray Boltz.
Oh man, do you have one of like the older pictures or anything?
I don't know if they put this together. Here, he just posted this. I don't want to see him.
Ugh,
he's so gross looking. You have to bring him up. I just want to puke. Former singer and songwriter Ray Boltz has quote married his longtime partner after nearly 20 years together. He is 72. He was a prominent recording artist through the late 80s and 90s. Known for his song "Thank You," which won in the 1990 GMA Dove Award Song of the Year, as well as "Watch the Lamb" and "I Pledge Allegiance to the Lamb." Obviously not. He briefly retired from music in 2003, separated from his wife, Carol, with whom he had 4 children, in 2005. And in 2008, to finalize his divorce, he reemerged on the music scene in 2010 with his album True, which featured the song "Don't Tell Me Who to Love," explicitly defending same-sex relationships. Sometime between 2005 and 2009, he entered into a relationship with his booking agent, Franco here.
Get out.
The couple moved in together and have been together ever since. He retired again in 2023 without releasing another album. On his newly created Instagram account, Ray Boltz released a video of himself singing his 2010 song, "You Came to Me," accompanied by images of his footage from his quote-unquote wedding.
Stop it.
Wow. He said,
I don't have words.
He
So
says,
Lee and I grew up with like I think we even had this album.
He says, "You see, I used to be in prison. Now it wasn't a penitentiary of a county jail of or kind of prison. It was a prison constructed by religious doctrine and teachings. Teachings that says you're not what you feel. You're what the Bible says you are. In fact, you're not what you feel. You're what we say the Bible says you are, and we say the Bible says you can't be gay. Now things are a little different. I think they're saying that you can have feelings and they're not necessarily sin unless you act. Can you imagine what that means to a young person to say you'll never wake up in the morning and have a cup of coffee with your partner? You'll never take a nap with them in the afternoon or fall asleep on the couch watching a Hallmark Christmas movie?
Stop it!
You'll never walk down the beach holding hands?
Wait a minute, stop.
Now you're saying, now what you're saying is if you're gay and you're Christian, you'll be alone.
Wait. Ain't nobody watch Hallmark homosexuals. You know why? Because the demographic don't want to see it. So don't you tell me about no Hallmark walking down the beach.
No, but he's watching it. He's watching the Hallmark with his lover. He's watching the girl love romance.
But he's equivalating it to like the walking down the beach. Like you'll never get to do these like Hallmarky things. Wake up, take a nap and all that. That's creepy. That's weird. We're looking at a picture here of these dudes, and what he is saying is like, I want to be able to wake up like with coffee with this person. I want to take a nap with this person.
I want.
That's so weird. It's creepy.
And then his wife goes on to say that
ex-wife or wife,
his ex-wife, that she's happy with it, that she's, she knew something was wrong with him, and that she's glad he's free.
Jules says we had all the Boltz's music, and when we found out, my mama trashed them. Oh my gosh, I can't with these people. I cannot.
So Michael Tate.
Oh, so let's go to another perv.
When Newsboys owner Wes Campbell, this is the Christian music industry.
And we went over some of this
trash.
on the show the other day, but some of you have already heard this.
Yeah.
We're going to reiterate it.
I didn't start at the beginning.
That's fine.
When Newsboys owner Wes Campbell resigned from the Gospel Music Association board in July, he insisted he had no idea about the devastating behaviors by frontman Michael Tate. But many have called those claims into question. And Campbell's Grammy-nominated band is on life support due to the Roy's Report investigation into Tate's sexual misconduct, drug use, and alleged cover-up over the Newsboys management. And we had Jason Jones on. We're going to have Randall Crawford on and his wife. This is just despicable. Over the past few months, the band has lost its Canadian tour, multiple American tour dates, airplay on mega station K-Lub, and a slew of fans. All the fans should be gone. Meanwhile, Tate, who resigned from the band in January, has admitted he abused substances and touched men in an unwanted sensual way.
That's called assault.
Unwanted sensual way.
You need to admit to assault.
But he has not admitted to some of the other serious allegations, including drugging a woman and watching while a crew member raped her and sexually assaulting minors. Throughout the past 3 months of ongoing revelations, band members and management have maintained they're completely unaware.
Didn't know.
But were they? The Royce Report has uncovered 6 stories from 2009 to 2025 showing that Newsboys management was, at a bare minimum, aware that Tate had a substance abuse problem. Sources told the Royce Report that the band's executives and owner enabled Tate to go on cocaine benders, steal songwriting credits, and tried to drug fellow crew members senseless while on tour. Newsboys owner Wes Campbell and former tour manager Steve Campbell, their brothers, both responded to the claims, asserting their ignorance about Tate's behavior before he left the band in January. Tate seemed to be the picture of a redemption story at its best, West told the Royce Report. At no time was it perceived that he was living a double life. He even mentioned such things in occasional interviews over the years, never giving anyone a perceived hint that such things may be currently going on in his life. Nobody, I don't think he ever hinted that he had drug problems or homosexual problems, but fans were shell-shocked when Peter Fuller, a founding member of the Newsboys, stepped back from the microphone on March 9th, 2009, because he said he wanted to take a break from touring. Tate became the lead singer, and it was announced the same day, just 2 months before an encounter with law enforcement that would haunt him for years. At 3 a.m. on May 11th, the corner of Broadway and 12th Avenue South, the center of Nashville's tourism sector, police noticed a late model silver Chevy Malibu without its lights on. When an officer signaled to the Malibu to pull over, he noticed it nearly sideswiped another car. Sitting in the Malibu was Tate. Why is he driving an old Malibu? Then 43.
Leah, it wasn't old at that time. Malibus were a good car at one point.
Police noticed a late model. Whatever.
Oh, okay. All right.
Who told the policeman that he had consumed only 1 cranberry vodka, a popular drink on the Newsboys tour bus. Did you know that the Newsboys tour bus had popular drinks? But after failing 3 impairment tests and denying a blood alcohol reading, Tate was booked for driving under intoxication, a DUI, and that was in his court records. Tate remained in jail for 2 days, 48 hours, pleading guilty to reckless driving and driving on a suspended license due to a previous infraction. He's released on a $7,000 bond. That came with the proviso that Tate's license would be suspended for 6 months and that he would complete 30 hours of community work in an alcohol safety course. The Royce Report reached out to Tate about his DUI, did not hear back. Over the next 12 months, Tate bounced between Newsboys tour dates and 6 more court appearances in Nashville to complete his trial and probation. 6 years later, this incident impacted the band directly when Tate was denied entry into Canada, despite having entered the country 5 times since his 2009 arrest. On April 19, 2016, in a now deleted social media post, the band canceled a show in Toronto, saying it was due to circumstances beyond our control. Their statement was structured to place the blame on security measures because of terrorist attacks earlier in 2015. The show was rescheduled for September 22nd. On September 21st, Tate was turned away from the border again, even after arriving 48 hours early to sort things out with border officials. This time, the band couldn't hide the real reason. As we attempted our initial entry, Michael was told that he had a 9-year-old traffic violation on his record, and because of it, they weren't going to allow him entry. They're calling a DUI and sideswiping a vehicle a traffic violation.
Wow.
They knew.
Mm-hmm.
They knew. Wow. Regardless, as we are instructed biblically, we respected and it was 7 years, by the way, inspected the authorities' decision and immediately hired attorneys in the U.S. and Canada to work out to resolve this issue. And we rescheduled the concert for our fall tour. The second time, Tate had arrived armed with an 80-page document, but was still turned down by 2 Canadian border officers. It is extremely disheartening to spend all the time and resources that we did only to have it come down to how the ancient fields and decides. So the Royce Report reached out to Wes Campbell about Tate's DUI and was told the band became aware he was charged with reckless driving only in 2016 when the Newsboys attempted to cross the Canadian border. It was never related to us prior to arriving at the Canadian border in 2016. So when they're saying all of these things, the band came out. We didn't know. What they didn't say is, but we knew this. Neither the Newsboys management nor affiliated attorneys had anything to do with Michael's defense or facilitation of any community service or court date appearances. We are not guilty in any way. Stating that the incident at the Canadian border caused turmoil for the band, Campbell said that Tate had emphasized the incident was connected to issues to his past. Michael seemed to have a very plausible explanation at the time, answering with a nonchalant demeanor, with no sense of being defensive, sharing that was just a part of his past that he had dealt with long before that moment.
Oh my gosh.
I dealt with it, man. He dealt with it. He added that the 80-page legal document was comprised of legal forms and recommendations from promoters, executive, pastors, and spiritual leaders, advocating that Tate had lived an upstanding life since that event in 2009 because they knew nothing. Steve Campbell, Wes's brother, who was contracted by the Newsboys during the 2016 incidents, also stated that he had no formal knowledge of the DUI, court dates, or community service. I hadn't heard anything of a legal record of any kind of Michael before we tried to cross the border. He says, due to this, I sure wasn't ensuring any court dates did not cross over our scheduling in 2009. When the Royce Report asked if any support was offered to Tate following the DUI. So he's trying to not make it. He's trying to make it to court and be on tour and make it to the court and be on tour. And nobody had any idea where he was trying to be. That would seem odd since it was so many years ago, well before we learned of it. It was not uncommon for Tate to miss recording sessions due to cocaine benders, says Jeremy McCoy, who rose to fame as a musician playing for Sonic Flood's Jeff Deo, and this is what we told you guys on our Wednesday show. He would later play for Rebecca St. James, if you guys remember her, The Fray, and One Republic. McCoy told the Royce Report that he was informed about these prolonged periods of drug use during the recording of the Newsboys' 2010 album, Born Again. When hired to play bass guitar, Born Again. Newsboys' song Save Your Life, McCoy attended a studio session at Blackbird Studio in Nashville in early 2010. He was told that Tate was meant to record vocals immediately after his cut, but no one could find him. The next week, the producer let me know that Michael was on another one of his cocaine benders and had disappeared or ghosted everyone for several days. But the producers knew nothing. The tour managers knew nothing. He was just on a cocaine bender that was just normal. And then Tate always seemed to be given a pass, no matter how egregious the activity. McCoy told the Royce Report, as an example, and then there's a song we talked about. He had this song, and then Tate actually wormed his way into the song rights, putting his name on it, and he had nothing to do with it. He told 25% of the royalties for that song. Absolutely insane. So for McCoy, that was the ultimate creative betrayal. I guess you could play it. I don't know if that's no, I don't think that's it. I was gonna say, what song is it? Making matters worse, the Newsboys used McCoy's original demo in the final version, with Tate replicating the studio's vocalist performance and ad-libs. When they sent the produced finished track back to us, we were shocked to see that the producer literally just used our tracks and didn't change anything, and they didn't give us any credit. As a 26-year veteran in the Christian music industry, McCoy says it's a grotesque understatement to say the industry and the Newsboys management were unaware of Tate's behavior. I don't know a single person who works in that industry that doesn't know. Wait a minute, what? You work for Rebecca St. James, One Republic, and you don't know a single person that doesn't know. The extent the network and enablers and fixers have, what that means is there are so many liars. Mm-hmm. And they're lying straight to your face.
Well, not only that, but not only are they lying straight to your face, but the fact that they have not come out with statements.
None of them. And they all know. And they're singing Christian songs. That's what makes it even more diabolical, right? So they actively ignore and hide. Now sit back and listen to them all saying, oh, we had no idea. He says it's infuriating. And unfortunately, it's permeated through the whole CCM industry, so that there are many other artists, writers, industry execs, etc., who have absolutely zero regard for holiness. Wes Campbell told the Royce Report that initially it was thought that Tate missed recording sessions because he was a talented and eccentric artist. Now it appears we are getting a much fuller understanding as to why he may have been unable or unwilling to show up for those sessions, Campbell said. There were no real consequences given to him for missing sessions, as his excuses seemed to be those of an artist with anxieties or even fear. It was certainly never seen as an issue of substance abuse, as no one had a clue to even suspect such activities. Campbell added that Tate wasn't given accountability or support for his issues because the Newsboys didn't have the knowledge of them until this year. This was when Tate told the band he had been living a double life. On learning this, Campbell said, I agreed that he needed to lead the band and seek professional help. He then entered treatment. So then we talked about Sam. Sam is a crew member and musician Andrew Welch recount the time that tour manager Steve Campbell had to clean up Tate's vomit after a wild night in the Midwest. So this is Steve Campbell saying we don't know anything about him, but these two, a crew member and a musician, are saying you did know, you covered up for him. So this guy, Sam's not his real name, he was in his early 20s, and he said it was common to have a really nice beer on the bus, but it was generally tame and the beer didn't concern him. But Tate's all-access pass to people on the Newsboys Tours bus did. And then he says he's larger than life. He was touchy-feely, and then turned weird. He offered to massage Sam's hands while on the bus, which is so weird. Here, let me put some lotion on your hands.
Dudes don't do that, by the way.
He rubbed my hands
with other
for 5
dudes.
minutes.
Dudes don't do that with other dudes.
He chalked it up as weird. And then there was a time at a bar that Tate told me that I could have a painkiller and take a couple of drinks with it because I would feel really good. So I did. Although intoxicated and drugged, Sam did not return to his bunk, but stayed in the lounge of the tour bus with the other crew members. When he finally got to bed, he found that Tate had thrown up in his bed. And then he goes on to say, there are these 3 10-foot bunks to a wall, 12 bunks in all. And the crew members did not mistake other people's bunks. Sam also told musician Andrew Welch about the incident. Welch was on the same tour with a different band, and the two had become friends. I remember Sam saying Tate threw up in his bunk. I think it took a day or two for anyone to actually clean it up. It ended up being Steve Campbell who cleaned it up, I think, not even Tate. And Sam had to sleep in the front lounge while waiting for it to be taken care of. Steve Campbell denied that this incident occurred. I don't remember that. I don't remember cleaning up somebody's vomit. He denied ever seeing Tate with touch crew in any unwanted, awkward, or sensual way. But everyone has their own definition of awkward. When a newreleasetoday.com journalist named Sarah Fine joined the Newsboys on their 2013 Restart tour, she was elated to be reporting on her favorite band. Over the course of several weeks, she wrote blogs on the road, helped conduct VIP events, and work with Steve Campbell. Fine had previously been denied a position on the 2012 God's Not Dead tour. You guys...
That's mentioned in the comments by Brenda, actually.
Because she was told the Newsboys had a hard and fast rule against having females on the bus. But now she was on the road with them for her 22nd birthday and being assigned a bunk with the support band Rapture Ruckus. Not only that, band members and crew threw her a surprise party on the Rapture Ruckus bus. Fine said she was prohibited from drinking alcohol by her employer and chose to stay sober. Despite this, alcohol was flowing freely for everyone else. It started innocently, but then it became clear very quickly that they planned for the party to be much more. Crew members from the Newsboys bus tour came aboard, and everyone began drinking alcohol from a stash the band kept somewhere in the back of the bus. Fine told the Roy's Report that she wasn't drinking alcohol and was happy with soda, but by the time Tate and the Newsboys drummer Duncan Phillips joined the party, everyone else was drinking alcohol. By the time everyone sang happy birthday, everyone on the bus was fairly drunk, including Tate. Then a musician on the bus handed Fine a red cup. Ladies, and gentlemen, if you ever drink out of a plastic cup and you are not in your own home, you get your own drink from like the faucet or something, or you open up a 2-liter fresh by yourself. If that 2 liters been open, you don't drink it.
But it's more than that for me.
And like, you don't set your cup down.
We don't go anywhere without each other. Right? So you're going to know where, like, let's say we go to a party or whatever, which we don't.
You're going to know how to get you home.
I'm not going to go anywhere.
But a lot of people are single. And they just, in order to have a life, they got to go somewhere.
You don't get to have a life.
I think about it. Like Lauren's.
These girls, these single girls on these tour buses? No,
I don't even know where this is going, but it's bad. Fine was given a red cup of what looked like Sprite, promising it was alcohol free. Ladies, I've heard so many of these stories from people I know. It's always the red cup. Always.
Okay, just keep reading.
Seconds later, his wife
swung behind him and told me not to drink it. Keep going.
Whose wife?
No.
Whose wife? I'm trying to find whose wife it is.
The guy that gave her the drink.
Okay. Seconds later, his wife swung behind him and told me not to drink it because he had put something in it to get me to loosen up. I'm assuming it was alcohol, but I never tried it, so I'll never know for certain. This guy's wife? Fine was concerned by the experience, but assumed it was just another tour story akin to many shared by people on the road. Instead, she secluded herself at the back of the bus and tried to avoid the band despite alleged inappropriate comments and drinking on the supposedly dry tour. Fine said she felt unable to report the Red Cup incident to her employer because she was scared of losing her job. There was part of me that was afraid that if I said something, I might be pulled off the tour. My employers already had trepidations about sending a woman on the road, and I was afraid if this kept happening, they would cut my role entirely. Fine realized how serious the incident was only when she recounted it to her friend, music journalist Mary Nickel. When I picked her up from the lot where Rapture Ruckus parked their bus after her birthday, said Nickel, on the drive back to our apartment, I asked her how her birthday on the road had gone. She immediately told me about the bus party and the alcohol. As we kept talking about it, and there's pictures of it, she revealed that her drink had been spiked with some unknown substance. I felt really scared for her, but I didn't know who to tell who could actually help. Photos of the party on the bus were posted on Instagram in 2013 and clearly shows the faces of Tate, Phillip, and the crew members drinking. You can see it. They're drunk. The Royce Report approached the newreleasetoday.com for comment. President Kevin McNeese told the Royce Report, regarding the no alcohol policy, I can't find anything in our history where that has been agreed upon between our staff and volunteers. It's not something I'm able to recall or verify. So you wouldn't want it? Steve Campbell vehemently denied allegations that Phillip would become drunk on the road. Phillips, I've never seen or heard of Duncan getting drunk with Michael on the bus, on the road, or anywhere else, and that simply never happened. The band members don't do drugs or get drunk. They drink and drink a lot.
But it's well known in the industry that
but
the
you don't get
newsboys
drunk.
Drink.
But that's what's so stupid. Just a couple drinks can get you drunk. They drink but they don't get drunk.
Stop it.
That's not who they are. They don't get drunk, but they drink. Like all the time.
And so he continues to say, and when Tate came clean about all of this, it took us all off guard. While no illegal drug use would be permitted from anyone, I am limited on how much I can police contracted crew workers on their days off.
A few years later, Nickel, then reporting for the newreleasetoday.com, set up an interview with the band on January 21st, 2016. She says Phillips and Tate swore and made anti-Semitic jokes. Okay, let's play it.
Okay, we're getting close. Yeah, and for sure.
Very close. Sure
Well, but you can have to read them. So there's a cuss word. More cuss words. Clip 2, raw interview with Michael Tate and Duncan Phillips.
Go for it. And we're rolling.
All right. Hey guys, this is Sarah from NewReleaseTuesday.com, sitting here with Michael and Duncan from the Newsboys. How are you guys today?
Good, doing great.
It's awesome. So what have you guys been up to lately? I know you're on the road right now, busy, I'm sure.
Oh gosh.
When are we not on the road?
We're doing it all day at home right now, which is very rare.
We've had actually crazy year.
The swearing and the stuff
busy
was that
spring.
stuff right at the beginning. However, in 2016, with band members Jody Davis and Jeff Frankenstein also present, Tate took the step of joking too far. Nickel was filming for the band's impending album Love Riot and was careful to switch the camera on and off before takes. In between takes, Tate and Phillips' banter slipped into a bizarre joke about Nazis, with Tate falling into a Sig Heil statue salute and saying Heil Hitler. Nickel said that she, an intern, publicist, and the band were present when this occurred. The publicist in Nashville told the Royce Report that it's common for artists to give interviews without supervision, specifically if their team is waiting for the next guest or delivery during a long shoot. Nickel corroborated this. However, she said that everyone who witnessed the inappropriate joking seemed unfazed. I was under a lot of pressure to get specific content from the shoot, and I didn't want to cause trouble telling my supervisors. And then she's like, I'm German, first generation American, so the Nazi references are pretty loaded for me. Nickel later texted a friend and said the interview was one tangled ball of awkward, at least as long as Tate was talking. She was so disturbed by his behavior that she spoke about it with her husband and several close friends after the event. 6 people told the Royce Report they recall Nickel's account about Tate's Sig Heil salute and Heil Hitler comment. For Nicole, her interactions with the Newsboys soured her view of the industry she once loved. Often, the tenuous threads holding the Newsboys machine together felt like they were all being held by the Campbells, an invisible, potent presence in a financially lavish operation. Perhaps my complicated relationship with the Newsboys, who I grew up listening to and dearly loved, is in part because of my commitment to authenticity. They had become more brand than band, and a facade carefully curated to commodify Christ. Wow. Carefully curated to commodify Christ. Today, Nicole does publicity and marketing for only the Christian band she feels are authentic.
So for time's sake, let's skip ahead to the next story. We get that. The Sig Heil, that's awful. The Nazi joke's terrible.
Well, then she says, I found the charade wearing and participating in, and it did something ugly to my soul.
So then Wes Campbell corroborates the fact that they joked around with the Nazi salute thing, whatever. And then we get to the Newsboys were first forced off the road during COVID-19, and a woman in her early 20s named Kim, not her real name, who worked as a crew member for the Newsboys soon after touring began in mid-2020, told the Roy's Report that she experienced ongoing sexual harassment. You can keep reading from there. Some of it was subtle.
Yeah, so some of it was subtle. By other times, it was blatant. Kim said a crew member offered to let her sleep in his tour bus bunk to help save her time. How nice of him. And energy. But she said she's happy to sleep. She'd have to sleep with him first and offer but said she'd have to sleep with him first and offer she declined. The Roy's Report asked both Wes and Steve about this incident. And of course, I don't know anything. However, Kim says Steve Campbell and Tate worked together seamlessly to roofie her on the last night of the tour. Roofing happens when someone secretly puts a drug in, like ketamine or...
We know that. Yeah, got it.
So to date, 6 men and 1 woman have come forward saying that they believe Tate roofed them before sexually assaulting them. So she says, when I got on the bus, Tate told Steve Campbell to make one of his special shots. After the request... Oh, okay. We just have to be clear here. Steve Campbell is a predator too. He's facilitating this. And you know what makes it so disgusting? He's a really good liar.
So what Jason Jones had texted us when he sent this to us, he said the bombshell from this very specific report is that Steve Campbell is a co-conspirator. That's what we're getting to right now.
But here's the thing. He's a really good liar.
Yeah.
When you read his responses,
right,
they sound really well crafted.
So
like he's a professional. Like I just want people to know, how does this happen? Because this Steve and these Campbell brothers, they can lie like better than they tell the truth, and you will believe them. People believed them.
So what you're getting here,
yeah,
when I got on the bus, I'm repeating this. Tate told Steve
Campbell
to make one of his, quote, special shots. After the request was made, Tate turned me around to take a picture with me, and immediately following, Steve handed me the shot and I drank it.
Steve Campbell, he's
drugged
so
her,
good
right,
at lying, right? So Kim, and you know what I believe? I'm just gonna throw it out there. Steve is the owner of the Newsboys. Tim is his brother. I think it's something like that. Like the brothers are together. It's all the Campbells.
I don't know that they're an owner, because that's not what Jason's text says.
No, the Campbells.
It says he was their manager.
Yeah, but the manager owned them.
Okay.
And that's what he's making money.
I want to just make sure we get it right. I'm going to keep reading while you're looking
Hold on. I just want to get this right. Newsboys owner.
That's Wes Campbell.
Okay, so Wes Campbell is the owner. The brother is Steve. Okay,
the manager.
But what I'm saying is that these Campbells, they own the Newsboys. So in my opinion, they're making the most money off of them. How is Tate facilitating a lot of his drugs? Somebody with that kind of money, that kind of clout, would mean that he's probably helping to supply these things. That's what I wanted. That was the point I wanted to make. So she felt uncomfortable at the party and soon left, despite protests from people there to stay and drink more. She was on the bus for about 10 minutes, and she said she didn't drink anything else. As I'm driving to my hotel, I become incredibly dizzy and disoriented. I barely remember getting to my hotel. She said she had never blacked out drinking before and hasn't since. Who else said that? Jason Jones. Never was a blackout drinker. The only explanation for what happened is that Tate and Campbell drugged her. Same with the woman on CCTV footage that we shared for you. Kim told the Roy's Report sexual harassment is normal for females in the Christian tour circuit. and that reporting it could cause negative repercussions for one's career. She only came forward so people know roofing behavior was still occurring in the Newsboys ranks, at least while Steve Campbell and Tate were on board. So what was the date on that? Did she say?
2020, COVID-19.
Mid-2020.
So Jessica Morris is knocking it out of the park with these Newsboys articles, or with the Michael Tate articles. So I just want to do a round of applause because we keep saying the Roys Report, and Julie Roys does excellent work. But Jessica Morris has been heading up and doing this research.
Is her investigation.
This is her story.
And she's been doing this for 2 years.
She's partnered with the Roys Report
to get it out there.
But it's really all of her work.
Yeah.
So I'm just super impressed with her as a journalist. She's doing a phenomenal job.
So these are I don't know if you showed them, this is Tate and Wes and Steve, and they're running the show, covering for Tate.
Well, here's
and
Jessica
with obviously wine glasses.
Right.
But they drank but never got drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And then his response is, I abhor the implication to your questions.
Oh my gosh. They're in on it. They're all in on it. They are all in on it.
And they are commodifying Christ.
Yeah.
They're commodifying Christ. They're drinking, they're partying, they are molesting people.
Sherry says, I wonder if his drug usage was why he was turned down by the Gaithers. I didn't know he was. That's very interesting.
Well, wasn't she at, that was the one older lady who died. Because there was one of the reports was the young grandson.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Who had Tate exposed himself to
or something. Don't drink. Exactly. Let's see. Okay. I think that's it. So over on Facebook, Jason says that he met Ray Boltz once and was not impressed. Well, there you go. That tracks, doesn't it? So, Leah, do you have anything else for the show?
No, I feel like
to hit the announcements.
Yeah, no, I want to just kind of sum this up.
And we have a little mail call we can open.
Yeah, no, I want to just sum this up because this is an ongoing kind of investigation. This is an ongoing story. Tate has not been held accountable, but there hopefully will be some accountability. And I'm so grateful for people like Jason and Randall for coming forward and putting their name to a actual case.
There are other victims that are willing to be talked about anonymously, but to put your name forward, I think takes, I'm not diminishing those other people, but to put your name forward is huge.
Yeah. And so put your name forward and then allowing this room to begin to fill. Okay, well, you told your story. You told your story. You told your story. This is corroborated. This is corroborated. So many pictures corroborating things. You know, you can see that they're drinking at this poor girl's party because they were not throwing her a birthday party.
No, they just wanted an excuse to drink.
And it was never about her.
No, she ended up in the back of the bus.
No, and they tried to drug her. Right. Happy birthday, let's rape you.
Oh my gosh, Leah. You make me sick. Not you.
Why else would you want her to loosen up?
Stop it.
These guys are the sickest, the lowest of the low. And the fact that, even if people didn't know that Tate was raping people, just all of the drinking, the Bible says not to live like this. And you're openly swearing, Nazi stuff, Jew jokes, just all the most despicable, vile things behind the scenes. And everybody knows it. So.
I don't know what that is.
MTV.
I'm going to end with one of Coalition Reloaded's more recent songs. This is, if you guys are not following them, I really want to highly, highly encourage you to do so, especially over on Facebook where a lot of the new songs are being released there. And, I'm really excited that what we've been talking about for a couple of years, God, please expose these people. Because we know what, again, going back to Ephesians 5:11, it is shameful to even mention what these people do. But God is exposing them and it's happening. It's happening right before our eyes. And so praise God. And so God, please, I just keep praying God, please expose them more every day, every day, every day. Why? Because the body of Christ must be cleansed.
Yeah.
It must be cleansed. And anybody saying that you just need to sit down and shut up and not talk about it,
the
you're part of it.
commodifying of Christ by people who are not Christians.
Yeah.
They're not Christians.
They're just
like,
using
let's
it.
just be honest about
Yeah.
these are not Christians. These are
Right.
not, Tate's not a fallen Christian.
Right. So you know what I saw today?
He's a wolf.
Lauren Daigle, who I know a lot of you guys love her, but like...
she's not Christian.
She's really just decided that she would rather be at the top of the B team than kind of at the bottom of the A team. And she's a phenomenal singer. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that girl can sing. She can sing. And she's got amazing music. But she just did a song with Eminem. And a lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And a lot of people are like sharing it and talking about it. And I maybe one of you that's watching is the one that shared it and I saw it and I'm so sorry. But like, I'm like, no. What is the scripture that says, what do you have? What does light have to do with darkness? Or what is the scripture
when
there?
we're talking to Jason, giving us this inside baseball, he's like, guys, it's not Christian music industry and secular industry. It's just
the music
industry.
And then so you've got country music, you've got rap, you've got pop, you've got, all these things. And then you have Christian music and it's just another genre.
And what could we make money
in
off
the music
of?
industry? Right? And the problem is that this is, I don't believe in the industry because it's corrupt. It's corrupt. And here's what's even worse. It's not just the music industry. It's the church industry.
It's a church industry.
There's a church industry too. And they're all covering up for all this stuff. That same sexual harassment garbage goes on. And I'm here to tell you it goes on in Mega. We have experienced it and I get it. So when you hear the people say you don't speak out about it because you're afraid of losing your position or whatever. Okay. I have literally experienced that. I have put up with sexual harassment and sexualized behavior from, and I don't mind saying this now, Dr. Frank himself, because we didn't want to call out his name because he was associated with all these other people and because we thought he was our friend. I'm going to be honest. We genuinely was like, yeah, he's kind of creepy. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't like it when he kisses me on the cheek because I don't let anybody kiss me like that. And it's gross and it's weird. And the hugs are gross and weird.
You guys are female specimen.
Okay. Like, and all of his comments, like literally I'd be like, hey, Dr. Frank, keep an eye out for like a husband for me. And he's like, no, I'm saving you for myself. Like it's weird comments like that. And you're just like, oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable. Right? Like, that's not a joke. That's not funny. Those aren't funny things. I don't have any like gotcha there with Dr. Frank, except for he has made me feel incredibly uncomfortable. He has touched me and hugged me in ways that are beyond my personal space.
We have heard from other people in other MAGA movement circles that he had inappropriate kind of conversations and at least conversations with another woman.
Female. Now that's hearsay from us. Some of the person that told us that might be watching. But I do trust her statement. I can't make any kind of claims.
And this person did say that this person firsthand, he treated her very, very badly.
And then we have, we're not willing to say who this is.
A second person that was close to him.
Very, like, tight as you can get.
That
he treated her very, very poorly.
And that is corroborated.
We talked to her directly.
So we've got a few people.
Right. So everybody's like, Michelle and Leah, name names. Well, that's one we're naming. But I'm telling you, I will never, ever do an event that Dr. Frank is at. Ever. In a million years. And we used to have him come to our events.
He used to call us all the time.
Yeah, he used to call us all the time. We've had long conversations with him.
If we had an event, he would be there. But then, and he's so close to Mike Lindell, and he's so close to, and that's you, and you just kind of brush things away.
Yeah. Because so you do it. So I'm just saying, like, guys,
and he's a super Christian-y guy, right?
Yeah.
He's spirit-filled. He's always calling me like, oh, the devil's really attacking this MAGA movement, and what do we do about it, Leah? And when I gave him some ideas, honestly, it was like crickets. I don't even know why he called me to tell me that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
So on a happy note,
would you like to get some tooth powder? Ding.
So no, I do actually have the polishes are available now.
Polishes available.
Polishes are available. I do have an email that I want to read, but I want to make sure get make sure I've got the permissions right before I actually read it about the Revelation Red Pill Academy diplomas, which I'm super excited about that. So I'll read that next time. Let me do this quick mail call. From Tom in New York.
Yeah, but you didn't read it first, so you never know if it's.
I know. Well, we're gonna try to do that. We're gonna try to make it. What?
Go ahead.
It happened with Aunt Gail, and I need to send her a thank you and an apology.
Yeah, we try to read them first.
Okay, I think I can read the card. Advice from a glacier: carve your own path, go slow, channel your strengths, Smooth the way for others. Keep moving forward. Avoid meltdowns and be cool.
I like it.
That is so awesome. That is so great. All right.
Oh, you're going to have to.
But it doesn't. See, here's the thing. You can't start off by saying, you know what I mean? I think I can read this. I think this looks readable.
Okay.
I've been meaning to write this since last month, wanting to find a good card, since it seems you could use a word to de-stress from some unnecessary anxiety triggers. That's good. Look up Philip Honey for his info, original Homeland Security appointee author and whistleblower. He originally was, I think, a scientist and an epidemiologist working in mid-fast. Let's see. So he spoke and learned Arabic text and books in one of his talks and spoke about treatment of infidels, etc., and how they would leave a corpse, butchered in a bloody mess in public. Wow. This practice was pronounced fa'ut ta'el. Growing up in an old world enclave community, I always wondered, why did some pronounce a double syllable to the F word? Well, there was my answer. Maybe Christine Cantrell can verify this too. Now you have the actual meaning of the F word. Oh, I get it. Okay. And actually the meaning, as it is, at least now you can correct those who are using it in the wrong meaning and context. Have fun. Recently, I enjoyed your Chickmunk Burka segment, including Leah's blankest expression and the Michelle yell who sent confess. I was actually talking to my screen, put on the Viking helmets, and said well, maybe that's the next segment I'll be waiting to see. Much love, Tom. Maybe someone in your audience will write the Viking Burka script for you. That was so good. That was really fun. I love getting stuff like that. Thank you. That was amazing. So from Tom in New York, that was really, really fun. I hope it's okay to say New York City, New York, actually, of all the places. So
New York City.
New York City.
They make Republicans there and salsa. Wouldn't you know?
That's awesome. That's so good. Paige says, I sang thank you when I was a kid. Thank you for giving to the Lord. I am the light that was changed. Thank you for giving to the Lord. That's the Ray Bolt song. I am so glad you gave. That's unpracticed. You can tell. And we can tell, Michelle. There you go. Let's see. Samuel says, make America generous again. That's how I like to view it. We need more generous people in the body of Christ. Michael says, put castor oil on your eyelids every night and your vision will improve. Well, we can't make any claims, but it sounds plausible.
How does that work?
I don't know.
But you guys can send us. Did you tell them we have a P.O. box?
We do have a P.O. box. That's how Tom's letter got here.
P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio.
45150. And if you send us your letters, please, if you don't want them read on air, put it like outside the package, like before you even open it, like on the back, like where he put this awesome sticker, put it right there. Like, do not read on air. This is just for you. So
I really like this advice from the glacier.
I do too.
Carve your own path. Go slow. Channel your strengths. Smooth the way for others. Keep moving forward. Avoid meltdowns. Be cool.
Be cool. Stay out of school. Public school. So we have some stuff coming up here.
We got a school.
We got a lot coming up. We are having a butcher event. We're the butchering.
A week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow.
Stop it.
Holy moly.
Holy chickens.
Chickens are getting murdered right here on the old farm here. So if you would like to come and murder chickens with us, you can visit resistancechicks.com/chicken workshop 2025. I don't have a banner for you to click on the main page because I still can't make that happen yet. But hopefully this weekend we will get that sorted. But you can go to resistancechicks.com/chicken workshop 2025, or you can scroll through the posts. I have made a post about it. You can click on it there. And I've shared it on all of our social media. If you want to come and join us, you can register. And I already have several registrants. So it's going to be a good one. The Taylor family is going to come, so that's always exciting. They do a phenomenal job. They're like professionals now. They're like helpers. So that's.
I think they just come for the fellowship at this
She
point.
said that it's the highlight of their year, which is awesome. So so much looking forward to that. That'll be September 13th. Couple things on the calendar for you guys to add, please, if you will. Monday night, where are you going to be? You're going to be live with Resistance Chicks and Amanda Grace. We very rarely do live interviews anymore because from a technical standpoint, it's kind of difficult. I'm kind of regretting that I made it live, but here we are and it's going to go on. It's going to be awesome, but you do not want to miss it because so in all of the things that we talk about here on this show, calling out what is going on in this movement, Amanda has done, and she has done it consistently. And she made a post recently about it. And Lee and I said, we got to get her back on the show. So we reached out and she said yes. So I got a double confirmation with her from yesterday. So that will be Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please tell everybody that you know I want to have a really good showing because I know that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to come out of this that I think that we will all benefit from. Then we're going to have Gary DeMar on our show for Revelation Red Pill Wednesday, and that will air on the 17th. So we're going to interview him on Thursday, the 11th. It'll air on the 17th. So please put that on your calendar. And then also, so crazy, so much going on. That weekend, we're going to be in the Mustard Seed Market. If you would like to join us in person for the Resistance Chicks General Store going on the road, you can get tickets at Rustic Greens.
So we may not, there may be two shows again, another Friday and Sunday.
Friday and that Sunday, we probably will not have a show. We will not have a show. We're not having a show.
We'll be at the market, but we'll do a couple lives or something.
Yeah, well, of course we'll do lives. So please, if you live anywhere within driving distance and you would like to come to either the chicken butchering or the Rustic Grains Market, we would love to see you guys. But please register for the chicken butchering because otherwise you're not getting my address. Register for the chicken butchering, but you can get tickets at rusticgrains.com, rusticgrains.com. So we've got a lot coming up, a lot of announcements. So thank you for sticking with us. I am going to end with a Coalition Reloaded song that has been playing over and over and over and over again for me in my head.
I just listened to it today. It was really great.
Sound Mind. I want to take this and somehow incorporate it with like maybe a new ending for the Healing for the Fractured Soul. Because I just keep playing it. So I'm going to make us small. Is that okay with you? Or do you want to do a reaction video?
No, just make us small.
I'm going to end it. I'm going to end our show with this and then we'll sign off. We will see you on Sunday. This Sunday, we will have a show. World News Program, 1:30-ish, probably outside on the deck. And thank you guys for all your prayers. Thank you to all the subscribers. You guys are amazing. We appreciate you, all the donors, all the prayers, everybody that supports Resistance Chicks. Even if you just share this with your friends and family, even if you just shout at the TV or you laugh at Leah and Michelle, we love you guys. And we're so glad that you are part of this thing that God has us doing.
Yeah, God, I just thank you for everybody listening. I ask, Father God, that Tate would be held to account, that you would bring healing to all of the victims here, and that more people will come forward, and that you just cause all the Jenga pieces to fall, and that those who are called to minister with music would do so from a place of humility and holiness. And I just love that there are people actually who do believe in holiness, and they should be the ones making the songs. Holiness is a big deal. It's not about just confessing. You're not confessing Jesus as your Savior if you're not walking in holiness. You're just you're mocking him. And so as many times as we fall, you can pick us back up again, but the striving is for holiness. And if you mock holiness, then you're mocking God himself. And so I just pray, Father God, that you would begin to move on the people in our nation and open up their eyes to who Trump is. And we're not here to bash any person. That's not it is, but that's not what we're doing. It's to open up eyes to people who are lying and deceiving or may harm others.
Amen.
And that's our whole goal. And we come from a Christian perspective. We come from a biblical stance, and we can't hold water for anybody that is holding water for demons. And so we have to walk away when people are actually pouring drinks with roofies in it, which is what these vaccines are and other things are. So I just pray, Father God, you open up our eyes, continue to lead us and guide us, heal everybody up. Give everybody a sound mind tonight. I pray for their families. I pray for our family. I pray that you supply all their needs in the midst of this financial craziness. As we talk about it, we know that we lean on you, that you are our provider, you're a protector. I pray that you pull everybody out of any sort of debt machine. The fiat, every dollar is debt anyways. but you pull us out of this debt machine. And I just thank you, Father God, that the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous, that you are turning all things around for good, and that you supply all of our needs according to your riches and glory through Christ Jesus. And bless everybody out there who is supporting us, and those who would like to, but they can't because they are in need. I just ask you that you fill all their needs. Make sure their food, their refrigerator is stocked, that they have gas in their car, that their bills are paid, and that they're able to take some time, have enough time to read your word and to pray and to hear your voice. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And heal up bodies in Jesus' name. All right, so we're going to end with this song. I'm going to make us small, and you can just enjoy this. Please go and follow Coalition Reloaded on Facebook. And if you're not on
I've
Facebook,
just been listening to all their songs.
you can do so on YouTube, but they don't upload all the songs over there. So you're going to have to wait for the actual like music release for that. Okay, remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. We love you. God loves you. God bless. And we will see you next time right here from resistancechicks.com.
God didn't plug me with fear, now he gave power. Love in my lungs, so discipline stacked like a tower. Ain't shy with the gospel, even locked in the pen. I'm splashing holy rhymes like water over sin again and again. Called pre-clock, pre-top, prescripted divine. Grace coded like Wi-Fi, streaming hope through the chains. Jesus flipped dead like pancakes, served eternal life. Immortality dripping, gospel sharper than a knife. Power, love, mind tight, triple decker in my chest. Fears a ghost of slap silly, manifesting my best. Step and sink, hit the street with eternal concrete. Timothy, torch blazing, scripture funky complete. Power, love, and a mind that sound. Fear don't live here no more, now count. 1, 2, strum my guitar. 3 chords is all I need, Lord. Sing a new song, just sing a new song. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, spirit in my chest, I'm on and never pass. So hustle on the block, lights vivid like Bravissimo. Face stacked high, move precise, never match. Oh, God's grace streams clean, season high like Tabasco. Trials hit like lightning, dodge a strike, that's fiasco. Scripture in my flow, wisdom sharp, ultra lasso. Hope embedded deep, shine eternal, that's fresco. Enemies and shadows, I trap them smooth like gazpacho. Power in my chest, discipline tight, ultra embargo. Spirit lifts me high, vision clear, almost staccato. Life's a vivid mural, every stroke feels Tosco. Walking through the struggle, never folding, moves over salto. Power, love, and a mind that sound. Fear don't live here no more, now count. 1, 2, strum my guitar. 3 chords is all I need, Lord. Sing a new song, just sing a new song. 1, 2, strum my guitar. 3 chords is all I need, Lord. Sing a new song, just sing a new song. Yeah, yeah, wisdom in my chest, clarity in my sight. Fade like a lighthouse, guiding through the night. Mind sharp, heart bold, discipline in the fold. God's plan in motion, streets paved in gold.